Hi everyone, welcome to the second episode of Icewind Dale Corrupted. I'm Chris, I'll be your DM for this evening, and we're thrilled to be streaming at twitch.tv/D&D and twitch.tv/Adventurers Wanted. So, what's going on? What are we doing here? Well, we are playing a tabletop role-playing game, Dungeons and Dragons to be specific. If you've stumbled on this by accident or don't know what you are watching, myself and all of the players here are playing characters in a shared fantasy universe. They have character sheets in front of them that tell them what they can do and how they can interact with the world around them. And on that character sheet, they often have to add numbers to a 20-sided dice roll. So 20 and above is brilliant, 1 and below. Below is very rare. There'll be occasional below ones, it does happen, but if 1 is bad. 1 is real bad, it's critical fail. So if you see any of those, feel free to boo and or cheer, depending on how you're feeling at that point in time. And whilst everyone plays their individual character, I play everything else in the world they encounter. So monsters they are fighting, terrible forgotten things beneath the ice that they are currently making their way through, stuff. I'll be handling all of that for today. So you are joining us for the second episode of Icewind Dale Corrupted. If you didn't catch the first one, you can find it on our YouTube channel. It might still be on our Twitch channel as well. That's twitch.tv/Adventurers Wanted or youtube.com/Adventurers Wanted. In either case, check it out there. Or dive in now. You can get plenty of stuff here about the characters, and you can dive in halfway through and go back and catch up later if you want to. That's also perfectly within your remit of whatever you'd like to do. Anyway, this is episode 2, so 1 episode has already happened. Do we want to try and recap what happened last time? Let's see. We met all of the characters, and they'll all give brief character intros in a second, and we started to get a sense of what's going on here. These characters are all in the Icewind Dale, a cold, windswept part of the world of Faerun, where we are set, that is currently locked in eternal night and eternal winter. Pretty bad stuff. And in the process of being locked in eternal night and in eternal winter, these characters who were already in an ice excavation looking for things beneath the ice have had some of their miners, excavators, workers go missing deep in the icy tunnels beneath their encampment. And they are now making their way down to find out what happened. In the process, have managed to encounter some nasties, which we're halfway through combat with, which we'll dive in on in a sec. But before we get too far into the story, let's meet all the characters again and make sure that everyone's aware of who they're watching and what's going on. So I'm going to pick people out and ask you to give your name, your pronouns, your character's name, their pronouns, and a brief sentence on where they're at, what's happened so far. So let's dive in and meet the characters, starting with Poe. You please give your name, your pronouns, character's name, etc.
Hello, my name is Poe, and I use they, them pronouns. I'm playing Victor, who uses he, him pronouns. He is a tabaxi cleric who kind of bums around the camp doing some medic work. And his dear friend Cyrus, he has found out, was in the team of miners who went down and have been trapped. And he's totally not worried at all. Not worried, not even slightly worried. He'll be fine, but he is going down to help find him.
Great, thank you, Poe. George.
Hello, I'm George, and I use he, him pronouns, and I'm playing Ash, or Ashra Beckett, or to most people, Ms. Beckett, who uses she, her pronouns, who is a human necromancer, who is the head of the Howling Ravine encampment, and sort of in charge of the operation here. And we've been heading down partly because there's a problem with the operations, and partly because it sounds like there may have been some kind of progress or breakthrough aside from that.
Thank you, George. Rebecca.
Hi, I'm Rebecca. I use she, her pronouns. I'm playing Ivy, who also uses she, her pronouns. Ivy is she turned up at the camp out of the blue a couple of weeks ago with her little sister in tow, looking for mining work. And that's definitely all her only skills. Definitely, absolutely, 100%. She's headed down the mines as the miner. She knows what she's looking for.
Yeah, that's Ivy. Vague as ever. Good. Excellent. Emma.
Hi, I'm Emma. I'm gender fluid, but using she, her pronouns today. My character is Prosperous, who is also gender fluid, but also using she, her pronouns today. Prosperous is a half-orc, originally from Golden Fields, grew up as a farmer, now a paladin of a order of people who go around protecting small communities, which is why Prosperous is here, protecting this small community of miners. Hence why coming down this mine to protect the miners down here. So yes, very keen to protect the miners.
Fantastic, thank you. And Red.
Hi, I'm Red. I'm using he, him, and I play Milk, who is also using he, him. Milk is a tiefling whose notable features include the children of an alien god growing in his face and his best friend, his flying squid, Malinoe, who may or may not want to destroy the world. We're not quite sure yet, but he's having a good time.
Yeah, that just about covers it with Milk on it. Yeah, good, right, good, lovely. Thank you very much. Right. So, before we kick off fully, this stream runs for roughly 3 hours. That's different times in different time zones. But yes, for the next 3 hours, you're with us. We are thrilled to be sponsored by, as you can see on the overlay, D&D Beyond and Ultra Pro. D&D Beyond are a digital rules compendium for Dungeons & Dragons. You can find everything there. Rules, compendium of the game's adventures. There's a new dice rolling app that lets you roll things live on the internet, which is very useful. Do check them out there. It's a great way to make characters and then run them in a world where we can't all be in the same room. They are also currently offering for pre-order the new D&D book, Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maiden, the content for which we are using to make this adventure. So do check it out there and pre-order and get yourself access to some really cool new dice, actually. Some nice stuff on there at the moment. We're also sponsored by Ultra Pro. Ultra Pro are they provide dice and other table peripherals, so things you can wield and use around your table, including some adorable small figurines of power that they're currently showcasing. I've got one to show you right now, but if you head to ultrapro.com, you can find a lot of lovely, useful D&D stuff there, which we are using in our game, including some of their lovely dice. I roll with them anyway. Yes, I think that's it on the sponsorship front. 2 final notices before we kick off. Firstly, we play with a diverse group of players who play a diverse set of characters. Our tables are trans-positive, and we both champion and promote trans inclusivity and characters as part of our games. As part of that, we have a policy on misgendering. If we miss anything, do let us know with the Twitch chat or via Twitter or email or anything. That's perfectly fine. But yes, we do aim to present everyone correctly as possible. We also have safety tools and mechanics we use as part of our games. You will see players, as I'm doing here, holding up pause cards at various points throughout the game. Can you read that? Pause? I can. Light. There we go. Thank you. Your pause cards are there to make sure that the table is safe and that people are able to pause proceedings if they need to for whatever reason. We also have safety tools, other things. We'll be using lines and veils occasionally throughout the game if we want things to stop or be retconned if necessary. More about that will be in the Twitch chat if you want to check things out there. We thoroughly recommend using them in your own games as well. Even in a home game, safety tools are incredibly important. Anyway, that's all of our AOB. Without further ado, Episode 2, Icewind Dale, Corrupted. Thank you. Welcome back. So, where did we leave off last time? You are literally mid-combat. I have all the initiative trackers on. Everything is saved. We know where we're at, so that's good. But for the audience, in case you're coming into this completely afresh, the party made their way out of the Camp Howl in the Howling Ravine, where they are based, down into the ice, and in the process of digging down through the ice, made their way down existing tunnels, and have found themselves making their way down a rock scree, which is a sort of a sort of diagonal stone, ground down fine stone underneath a glacier. They are making their way down there. There was a guide rope to help them make their way down, which unfortunately got shot on a natural 1 by Victor. And thus they are currently standing awkwardly in this rock scree in combat with a young Remoraz. Ivy, it is your turn. You and Prosperous are standing in front of, not everyone else, but most people. You're defending this group of people. Slightly behind you, Ashra and Ashra's skeleton buddies are all behind you, along with Victor, while Milk has fallen down the scree, currently flying underneath and up to get back up to all of you. This Remoraz was hit by a sunbeam that blasted out of the end of Prosperous's scythe, so it has already taken some damage. And you've also seen that these creatures, when hit in close proximity, their boiling, hissing, hot blood will spark out of the wounds and damage you if you run in and hit them. Just a reminder before you run in and hit them.
I took quite a lot of damage from that. It was roughly like 15.
Yeah, ish.
Cool. Well,
So,
with that in mind,
Ivy,
I
what
would
you
like to run in and hit them.
Okay. As you run forward in the scree, now you're not affected by difficult terrain because of your monkish abilities, and thus you manage to quickly do a sort of quick sidestep along this scree. Very few pebbles being kicked up by your movement as you move forward towards this creature that's only just in the cone of light. You can't see that much in this space. Prosperous's scythe is currently glowing and lit up. Thus, you do have about, 40 feet of visual? What is it?
It's bright light for 20 feet and dim light for 20 feet beyond that.
So there's about a 20-foot arc of light, which Milk has fallen out of, so you can't see Milk at this point, but you're not that worried. You're aware that Milk is a wizard spellcaster of some renown, so you're not that worried about it. But as you run forward, you can just get to the edge of the light to see this creature, and because of your abilities, you can see in the dark and see that ahead of you down this scree is the tunnel that you were aiming for, which is at the bottom of this.
Did non-magical weapons still do damage for this one?
You are a high enough level monk that it doesn't matter.
Great.
You have magical fists.
I have magical fists, but I was thinking about using my sword, so I didn't. Oh no, because it's going to spit hot things at me anyway. Great, yeah, I'd like to run up and give it 2 uppercuts, left and right.
Cool. You step in, and again with this kind of boxer-like precision, it's not martial arts, it's more just very precise, very heavy punches. You lean in and uppercut twice. Go for it.
Thank you. Well, that is a nice way to start the game. That is a 25.
Yeah, that hits, yeah.
And a 22.
Both of those hit as you run in and just... And where you're pummeling, it's very hard carapace, but your hits are so hard, even bare-knuckled, that you are cracking this shell of this creature. And as you do, parts of it hiss and spatter and burn.
Brilliant. Damage first or stunning strike first?
Do you want a stunning strike?
I'd like to try, yeah.
Sure.
So
I rolled a 14.
That is the DC.
Afraid it doesn't hit. You can apply stunning strike to any of your hits, so you can do more if you want to.
Yeah, but key points.
It's not my decision, is it?
I'll leave it for now, I think, and roll damage.
So are you going to bonus action hit some more?
I'm going to bonus action do 1 unarmed strike.
Just 1 unarmed strike. Okay, roll that one as well.
Cool. That's another 17 on the dice, so another 25 to hit.
Yeah, all 3 of your punches hit.
Brilliant.
I feel like your cover of being like a miner is well and truly blown at this point.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
But, people are in trouble. Covers are covers.
Notes are being taken, mental and otherwise.
8 plus... Oh, I get +5 each time. I love this character. 23 points of damage.
Oh, 3 resounding hits. But every time your fist impacts, you can feel the burn on the front of your knuckles, and as you impact 3 uppercuts, direct lines, there is a quite resounding crack as the carapace splits in front of you, and a wash of this very hot blood washes over you at 66.
Oh, that's nice.
It's per hit. Ooh, that's a good roll as well. 5, 11, 16, 23. 23 points of damage to you from this hot blood.
Okay, that could be worse.
Mm-hmm. You can apply stunning strike to any of these punches. You've applied 1, you hit 3 times. Are you sure you don't want to apply more?
Go on then. If I can see that the carapace is broken so it's actually doing stuff, then yes, I will try once more to stunning strike.
That is a 14.
Well done.
Cool. You're now within 5 feet of it, and you run in and just taken a really heavy hit to it as you've gone. It is now the creature's turn. It is, as you're the closest thing to it, and it has an intelligence of 3, it's just going to try and eat you. So as you run in and punch, it's just going to lean forward. It's quite large. It's about the size of, let's say, like a pony, like small horse. and it is just like leaning up towards you. All of these like chitinous shell casings grinding against each other slightly, and where the sunbeam hit, there's a huge scorch. Where you punched it, there's a huge crack. All of these legs just reach up as it rears and just flops forward, trying to bite into you. That is a 25 to hit you.
Oh, hang on, is it? Because this is the first time anything's attacked me, and it has disadvantage on attack rolls against me.
Oh, because of your cloak of displacement, yeah.
Because of my tattoo of displacement, yeah.
Tattoo of displacement, my apologies. That's a 20, non-natural.
Yeah, okay, fair, that does still hit. It was fun. I tried.
Cool. 3d10 plus 2d6.
I really hope someone has healing.
2, 3, 7, 16, 23, and 9. 30 plus 9 is 32 points of damage as it just lands on top of you with a resounding crunch, and it's incised, its pincer incisors in the sort of strange triangular face at the front just grab in and just bite heavily into you as you are now locked in a life or death tussle with it. It's a good thing that you can balance on this screen, is all I'm going to say.
I'm so healthy right now.
Yeah. Prosperous, you're about 40 feet away from this, 30 feet away from this.
I was next to Ivy.
Ivy can move 55 feet and around. And
you said it was 30 feet away from us when you started the combat.
All right, let's make it 30 feet. Let's share it.
I would like to move towards it.
Roll an athletics check to not fall in the screen.
Come on. Yes. That was nearly a nat 1, but it rolled onto a 19, so that's a 26.
Yeah, you're totally fine. I mean, how do you want to do this? Is it being cautious?
Same as last time, just dig in and chonk down.
Chonk straight down,
yeah.
Moving forward.
I have a lot of weight behind me. I'm wearing full plate armor, so
that's fine. I will allow. You can move forward, and as you do, scythe raised high, I presume.
Well, how hurt do you look,
Ivy looks so hurt.
Could you give me a number?
No.
Like a percentage?
Don't metagame this.
10% alive is how I do it. I mean, you just gave me, 50?
I did, yeah.
5 points of damage in a round?
I did, yeah, that's correct.
I will lay on hands Ivy for 30 hit points.
Oh, I love paladins.
Just like how does your lay on hands look? Is it got sort of stepping?
It's the same golden glow as from the scythe.
Reaching into my shot.
Oh, sorry. It's the same.
Emma and I are in the same room, audience, just to be clear.
Really big scythe, okay?
Lockdown is being observed. We live together. Go on.
It's the same golden glow as from my scythe, but from my hand now. I just put it on your shoulder and I suddenly feel a lot better. Hopefully. That is my entire action.
Yes.
So I can't attack.
Correct.
However, I could cast a bonus action spell.
That is correct. You could do that.
I will cast bonus action Sanctuary on Ivy.
It will be broken by Ivy attacking.
And Ivy goes first.
Yes.
Fine. I will not.
Okay.
Take that back.
Sanctuary, very useful spell, but the turn of initiative is extremely important because Ivy would go before the Remorez goes, so it would be meaningless.
Well, I'll cast it on myself then, because it's going to have. Then it'll have to roll wisdom saving throw to attack me, and it'll have disadvantage on attacking Ivy. So.
Have disadvantage on attacking Ivy? Why?
Because the cloak will be back up.
Ah, very wise, very wise. Okay, you do that. You run in and heal Ivy and ward yourself. Milk, you are about 40 feet away and down at an angle. You can see in the light ahead of you all of this happening and people impacting and running towards the Remorez. You can also see that the guide rope has gone, so movement's going to be difficult for most people. How would you like to handle this?
I think I'm going to fly within visual range so that other people can see me, lest somebody needs some assistance when they start falling down the screen.
Cool.
But then I'm going to stay out of trouble. I don't know how far this is. And
you can fly sort of up a little and like be within 30 feet, so you're inside the cone of light from Prosperous's scythe, because the skeletons that were holding torches put them out to shoot foes.
That's awesome. I will hang there and I will pew pew with my Eldritch Blast at the one that has Ivy.
And you do finger gun, don't you? Every time.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Make me 2 attack rolls with your finger guns.
Okay, that's 25 and a 25.
Both hit, yes.
That's 9 plus 10, 19.
19 points of damage. As Prosperous runs in and grabs you, Ivy, suddenly ahead of you, these two... What do your Eldritch Blasts look like, Red?
It's I would say like splitting in reality of which horrible things might be seen on that.
That's right. So suddenly there's this sort of like, as parts of sort of strange reality tears just burst into this Remraz that's on you right now. Just it sort of flails horribly as these things impact it on the side. It's looking quite badly hurt. Where these two things hit, there's definite rents and cuts where this carapace is being split, and more of the blood splashes out, but away from you. It's nowhere near. It's only if you hit it. Right. Thank you, Milk. Any bonus actions for you?
No, I think I'm good there. Thank you.
Lovely. Ashra.
Yeah, Ashra's had a bit of a rough time so far in terms of hitting things. or
I hit it last time.
Yeah, it's true. That's very true.
You spent the whole session missing things, and you hit this at the end.
Yeah. I set my sights a little higher than that, but so she's gonna, given that it's already taken some damage, not gonna burn another spell slot on it, but just gonna cast Toll the Dead. And she wouldn't demean herself or her position with finger guns, but she just gestures out and snaps her fingers, and hopefully it will have to make a Wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom save. It rolls a 13.
That is not enough, so it takes, and it's already injured, so 2d12.
It does. You can do all of the addition on that.
I have a very bad habit of rolling exceptionally low on damage cantrips. And I thought, as I think every time, like a fool, that this might be the exception, and I just roll on 2d12s, 2 1s.
Oh, tragic. Utterly, there's no modifier add?
Hell no one.
No.
As far as everyone else is concerned, it was a very successful attack.
I think you reach out very coolly and do the snap, and then it just doesn't react. Like it's almost like you didn't hit it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Quick skeleton.
We notice.
Get some arrows downrange. Make it more damage.
You have a bonus action.
I'm not taking a bonus action. The skeletons are after me, or on my initiative count, right?
The skeletons are on your initiative count because they are your skeletons. Yeah. Yes.
I haven't changed the order, so they will attack.
Cool. All 3 of them make archery hits, and they're not moving in the street, so they can just fire. Don't forget that they are firing over you, so there is a partial cover here to hit the Remraz. Also, the Remraz is now in direct combat with Ivy and with Prosperous, so it's only got partial cover, but because of the narrow space here, unless they move, it's partial cover.
I don't trust skeletons not to fall over, and I want to keep them close, so I'm just going to roll as is. Mm-hmm. They get +5. Ooh, that's 2 very bad rolls and a natural 20.
Ooh. How bad are the very bad rolls?
A natural 1 and a 10 total.
Cool. Can you roll me the damage on the natural 1 first, please?
That's a good point, isn't it? Think of that. Yeah, I can do that.
I mean, they have to roll a wisdom saving throw to hit me.
Interesting point. We'll come to that.
Damage on the natural.
Let's just know what the damage is first. Let's see how bad the arrow is, and then see what happens.
That's an 8.
8 points of damage. Lovely.
My necromancer bonus to damage is 3, so that is 8. Yes.
George, can you roll me a d6,
it's 10,
please?
It's 10.
Roll me a d6, please.
That is a 6.
Cool. Your skeleton shoots you in the back for 8 points of damage.
I have only myself to blame. Luckily, I haven't taken any damage so far, but that's fun times.
Do you want to describe how that looks to everyone?
They're probably a bit unstable because I think they're not holding on. Or the guide rope's gone, isn't it? So maybe the guide rope twanging has knocked one of them slightly, and they've had to take a half step, and they're not very dexterous on the whole. So it probably stumbles while aiming and just shifts behind me, like because they're already kind of shooting over my shoulder, so it wouldn't take very much for them to just put an arrow into my shoulder, and it's not too deep, but it's not dignified, and it puts a hole in my cloak.
Victor, you're behind this, so you've seen one of Ashra's skeletons shoot Ashra in the back. Any comment? Do you do anything? Just go, okay, that's a thing.
Are they meant to do that?
I'm just going to turn around and shoot you absolute daggers as a kid. No, I mean, they'll probably miss, but...
Thank you, George. Yes.
Yeah, can I roll the damage for the one that actually hit?
Yes, the natural 20 actually hits. So it flies through, flies between everyone, and impacts the young Remedez.
It's a good damage roll. The skeletons are way better at this than me, asterisk notwithstanding the other bit. So it's that is 17 max damage.
Ooh.
6s.
Ivy, in front of you, where the Remedez has sort of reared up slightly, an arrow out of nowhere just flies in and goes into its mouth, into the strange orifice at the front, and it sort of it has a sort of strange choking noise. It vomits more of this sort of hot burning blood out, and it looks like this has done a lot more damage than it should do. Like it's this Remedez is looking a complete mess right now. Still alive, just.
If you turn up slope, you'll see me like looking like with my cloak billowing slightly in the breeze, trying to cover the fact that I've got a shoulder injury from her.
Yeah.
Victor, what would you like to do?
Hello. Wondering if it's worth doing a mass healing word, because Prosperous, are you also injured?
Only by about 15.
What's the range on mass healing word?
60 feet.
Cool, you're fine. Just checking.
Yeah. Sweet. Because I know also Ashra is not looking so good. Or how far away am I?
Ashra's not looking so good because Ashra got shot in the back. Yeah, fair.
By my most loyal associates.
As far as I'm concerned, it's the skeleton called Ashra that I haven't really asked about. How far away am I from the Remedez?
Roughly 60 feet.
Roughly 60 feet.
Maybe not quite that much, about 50, because you're in a row, because you were standing where the guide rope was, so everyone's standing in a line.
Yes, because last time I tried to use my crossbow and it went really well for everyone.
You rolled a 1, yeah.
Love that. The Remedez isn't looking like too great, right?
The Remedez is looking fucking awful.
Oh, okay, so I don't need to bother doing the thing I was thinking of doing. And maybe I should use mass healing word, because we're probably going to be done with this guy pretty soon. Yeah, you think so? Yeah, I'm gonna try again with the crossbow. Okay.
I mean, if things go poorly,
it'll be fine.
You'll probably just shoot Ash in the back again.
Make it aiming for me.
Great.
Make me an attack roll against the Remedez. It has partial cover from all the people in the way.
Mm-hmm. Oh no! Okay. 12 to hit. Doesn't hit. You don't hit someone, but you try and sort of lean around everyone and shoot. But unless you take the movement, you just fire and it just skips off the carapace. Very hard to hit from this range as well. These bloody dice. Right. Yeah, I'll stay put. I've helped enough. Okay. Cool. Ivy, it is top of initiative. It's your go. At the top of initiative, you again, the shadows seem to coalesce around you slightly more, and you are once again displaced.
Excellent. And not grappled.
Not grappled.
Chewed on, but not grappled.
Chewed on, but not grappled.
I am quite cross now and would like to hit it lots.
Sure,
I'll start with 2 for a normal action.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love these dice. I'm using different dice. I'm not just using cocked dice. 17 plus 8 is 25, and 13 plus 8 is 21.
Roll me the damage on those before doing anything else.
Cool. I was wondering. So
it has 6 hit points. I mean, I have plus 10, so that's 14. Yeah. How would you want to take it out?
Ivy doesn't like being chewed, so I think up to this point she has fought very in a very contained, quiet, I'm just going to calmly punch things. And then at this point she's going to get a little more cross and with a bit of a yell take a step back, turn all her weight into it, and then as hard as she possibly can send a cross into like the center of its head.
As you do step back, your feet shift on the ground slightly, but you are very, very able to hold your balance in very strange situations. And the straight cross, as it's screaming and flailing, as it flops back down, you just straight into the center of its head. Where you do, the head cracks open, dents in. You are burned again.
Thank you. Prosperous, I'll be fine.
For 6 points of damage, but
that
you
would have knocked me unconscious before, and now I'm okay.
good.
That was the point.
You get singed up your arm because your arm also goes further in than you thought it would as you just crack the carapace and your fist sinks into the fleshy under the carapace bit of this and sinks in a bit, and it just collapses. As it does, it collapses into the screen, starts to slide a little, but eventually doesn't slide very far. Just it sort of stops where it was, about 5 feet away from where you are. And you are out of initiative.
Can I just turn to Ivy and be like, maybe we should take a break now?
Really? Yeah. Okay.
How long does your glowy stick last? Glowy stick. How long does your scimitar of light last? The scimitar. Scythe. How long does your scythe of light last?
1 minute.
1 minute. Okay, it's going to start guttering out relatively soon.
Should we relight some torches and then have a little nap?
Let's get to the bottom of the slope. Sorry,
while everyone's still slightly further away, can I just, under my breath, to Ivy go like, just a minor?
You kept my secret before, not now. Come on. Bottom of the slope sounds like a good idea. There are torches and not a slope of death. Let's, head down, try not to fall, and we'll get there.
Aside from Ivy, if you all take your time, effectively halve your movement, you can move down carefully and the chance of falling is minimal to none. Ash, I will say this. What is Skeleton's dexterity? Because no one's dexterity here is under a 9.
Let me check.
It's fine. Okay.
They have +2. It's zombies that are terrible.
No one has a minus as a dexterity mod, do they? Just checking. Victor looking particularly okay. Good.
It's fine.
Rather than rushing ahead this time, Ivy will hang around and offer a hand to anyone who's looking a bit wobbly, so we'll hopefully help any of that.
Yes, ditto. I can fly at the moment.
You can fly!
Quite stabilizing.
Cool. You all make your way down slowly, carefully, helping each other to the bottom of this scree, of this ravine. It's not called that. What's it called? Sheer.
Oh.
It's a glacial sheer. Sorry, bottom of this sheer. And as you get to the bottom of the sheer ends back in, and there's a tunnel going up effectively into the ice again. Yes.
How long was the rope that was hung here?
Oh, a couple hundred feet at least. Yeah.
Okay.
Restringing it's going to be a difficult job for someone, but there you go. But as you make your way to the bottom of this, at the bottom of the sheer stops, the gravel stops where it meets the ice. Where the gravel meets the ice, you can see that the fallen pebbles, gravel, rock that has fallen down here has fallen onto a flat surface. And as you move down looking at this flat surface, unlike the sort of strange panels that were part of the ice that you saw earlier, this doesn't have that kind of intricate, like metal inlaid inside a sort of almost another kind of metal or stone. This has more of a flat, and it's obsidian black. It's not obsidian the stone, it's just that color and that absorption of light to it. As you all step down onto it, you can see the scree is just covering parts of this, but that's where the sheer ends. The sheer ends because there's no more stone for it to grind against. It's now this strange other material that's clearly heading back into the scree behind you and heading forward. This tunnel in the ice, while there's ice around the top parts of it, the ground from this point forward, covered in some places, is a slightly wonky, what looks like a platform or a walkway. You already, those of you who are part of the Arcane Brotherhood's expedition and know what you are digging for, you can make a fair assumption about this, and you knew this was here. You knew they'd started to find more. But those of you who are not aware of what the Arcane Brotherhood are here for, what they're digging for, this might be something of a surprise.
So is this new since last time, say, Ivy or I were down here?
Since the last time you two were down here, no, you saw it there before, but it is strange, and you've probably both got questions as to what it is and what's going on, but you haven't asked at this point, I'm going to say.
And would this be the best place to rest before carrying on, like knowing the tunnels ahead?
You
or would
don't
there
know.
Be better places?
The last place you dug out was around here, and you don't do any digging. The last place you fought things off was here, and then further ahead is where the miners were going today, where the miners were going to excavate further.
Yeah,
so you don't know
as far as
ahead.
we're aware, probably this is the best place to rest.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Frankly, I'm shattered. I need a nap. I don't care. I'm right here. I'm sitting down.
On this strange, dark, almost glassy floor.
Yeah, I think so.
Can Ivy take a piton and just scrape some ice off the wall and put it on a massive burn?
Yes. No problem. That's fine. Count it as part of a short rest and healing if you want to. That's fine.
I'm going to roll some hit dice.
So,
are we taking a short rest?
I'm not in charge of this expedition.
Yes.
Ivy is going to very pointedly sit down and go, I am no good to any trapped miners like this. I would really like a little sit down, please.
Yeah, I suggest we take a short pause.
Can we hear anything? As in, like, in terms of like commotion or other? I think of things other than us.
Roll me a perception check if you're listening in particular.
Can I help with that?
You can't help with perception, unfortunately. You could roll your own perception check. Yeah.
22.
Okay. 10. So, Ashra, you listen out, and with a 12, you hear the ice grinding around you slightly. There's a slight sense of like slow cracking occasionally because glaciers are always on the move. And you get the faint drip of water from somewhere, which you often get under the glacier as well. Prosperous, if you're listening out, up ahead, it's very quiet, but you just about hear something up ahead that sounds a little like voices, but it's echoey. It's got a very strange, unearthly quality to it that echoes around it like it's echoing from quite a long way away through these tunnels. You can't be sure.
I can hear something, but it sounds like it's a long way away. Quite echoey.
If people were in distress, they'd have heard the sound of that battle and they'd be calling for help. We can afford to take a few minutes or longer.
And hope it doesn't mean that they're all already dead.
Yes, but if they are, there's nothing we can do.
Well, I'm sure if they were all...
doesn't change that.
I'm sure if they were all dead, we wouldn't be hearing voices.
Can I sense anything telepathically?
As before, there is this very peculiar, like, telepathic hum that you've noted since last session, so for the last hour. This strange undercurrent. It feels, as before, welcoming. It feels as before like a presence, and you're used to having things like this, a presence of calm slumber almost.
Okay. Cool.
Mm-hmm. What does everyone... Oh, sorry, George. What does everyone do during the hour of short resting? You obviously heal and short rest your character abilities. That's fine. Do people sort of keep an eye on the scree, on the tunnel? Are you talking with each other? Are you engaging with each other at all? Those of you who don't know what this is or don't know what might be ahead could ask questions. What comes up?
I feel like... Oh, sorry, go for it, Poe.
No, please go first.
Okay, thanks. I feel like Ivy will at some point head over to Prosperous and sort of go, hi.
Hi.
Yeah. I know after last time I told you it was a one-time thing, but this time felt useful.
It was very useful.
Good. That's all fine then.
Yeah. Sure. Can I roll an insight check?
On what?
Please.
Yeah, sure. Of course.
Oh, that is a 7.
I mean, I can roll either of the
You're
things.
not really performing or deceiving at this point, Ivy. It's probably more of a, is there more going on here? And Prosper, as far as you can tell, Ivy's an enigma. Ivy's very hard to read, and trying to understand what or who Ivy is or what's going on here is you're not able to suss anything from just encounter.
I mean, I understand, people have their things. I'm always here if you ever want help or to talk.
I appreciate it. It does matter to me that you know that before, when I was saying I'd go looking and let us know whether we should fight or run away. I didn't mean abandon our friends to their death. I meant tactical retreat and get reinforcements. We're no good to anyone if we rush in and die. I know that you have much more heroics than I could possibly ever dream of, but I'm not a coward. Don't think that of me. Okay. Anyway, totally normal mining. Yeah, mines. Speaking of mines, Ms. Beckett, what is this?
It's complicated.
We'll just like cock a head at you pointedly.
Victor's also listening.
They want to repeat that, George?
It's complicated. We probably wouldn't have told anyone really outside of the inner circle at the encampment, really.
Well, we're smart people. Why not explain it to us?
Have you heard of Netherese?
Can all of you, apart from Milk, because Milk's fully aware of this, roll me a history check?
Oh, sick.
Or a religion check, I would argue, or maybe an arcana check. Just let me know which one it is.
Or a zero. Yeah.
They're all -1, but I've rolled an 18.
Ooh.
That's 24.
24.
12.
12.
Religion.
Religion for Ivy. What were you rolling?
I don't know. They're all equally bad.
Pick
Probably religion because paladin.
Okay. Poe, what was Victor rolling?
I rolled history.
History. Cool. Thank you. Victor. Netherese was an ancient society of mages, magic users that were very, very advanced. They were working in very strange magical circles, but we're talking thousands upon thousands of years ago. As part of working on magic thousands upon thousands of years ago, their civilization collapsed. And when I say collapsed, they had flying cities, and those cities literally crashed.
Dang.
Netherese stuff, Netherese material tends to be magic, but not always of an excellent kind. They had a lot of, historically, a lot of encounters with some rather nasty creatures from other planes of existence. You wouldn't know the details of that, and I'm not going to bore you with a history lesson, but yes, Netherese bad wizards from past. You are fully aware of that. The fact that these wizards are looking into it is dubious.
Okay.
Ivy, with your religion roll of 12, the Netherese and the Netherese, part of the reason why their empire collapsed and the reason why the cities crashed is they killed a god. You can't remember anything more than that, but they literally killed a god, and in doing so caused magic to stop working.
As you do.
Prosperous, you rolled an 18 on your religion check. They killed the god of magic.
Oh, sure.
They killed the god of magic, and the god of magic had to reform. There was a whole thing, but yeah. You're aware that they are the definition of mages who reach too high, reach too far, overextended themselves.
My pointed look at Ashra becomes more pointed.
Yeah, mine too.
I see the looks of like varying levels of comprehension. I see. Well, the Brotherhood has an academic interest in the lost, for want of a better word, technology of the Netherese. Hence the encampment, hence the mining expedition.
Doesn't an academic interest mean you sit in a library and read about it, not you send loads of people potentially to their death to dig up potentially super dangerous technology?
No, academic history has academia has a long history of field work. It's not all books and libraries.
How do you feel about gods?
And keeping them alive.
Well, I have little interest in the comings or goings of the gods. I know that they have their place in the world, and I mostly try and keep out of their way.
See, that I can sympathise with. This sneaky, maybe magic bad thing, Did you not want to tell the real people you were sending down here the risk you were putting them in?
What risk?
They do have.
This technology is lost and soon to be non.
Mines have risk. I know you wouldn't know that sitting in your lovely magic office, but then added to that, some ancient, from what my friends are saying, really destructive technology.
Dead, ancient, forgotten, still lost, nothing. Just.
So we're going to dig up and reuse and, really responsibly from the sounds of it.
You seem very anxious, and these things are dust. They are completely extant. There is no danger here, my dear. Don't worry yourself.
Don't patronize me. Never call me my dear again, and don't misunderstand me. I am not anxious. I am angry. If this was above board and safe, you would not be keeping it a secret. I've had enough of secrets in my life, and I haven't had enough of irresponsible people who think nothing of other people's lives. I'm not happy with this. Prosperous, what do you think?
I'm certainly not on board with God-killing technology.
I've probably sort of shifted slightly over to stand next to Milk at this point, just not directly next to, but there's been a sort of slight turning in that direction, at least. Well, the Brotherhood can't share all of its information. If other interests got a hold of this, it would be problematic. Hence the need for operational security.
What use is there in sifting through the ashes if you're not trying to start another fire?
Comprehension of what would fire.
Protection. Who knows what harm it could present for other people?
The moral of the story of Netherese was very much to know when to stop. Is this not the good enough stopping point?
I don't know that was the moral of the story, because no one really has all the facts yet. We are unfurnished, and we are all reacting here to rumours and hearsay. We are imagining threats that we couldn't possibly perceive. All so far that has happened is that some miners have run into some difficulty in a mine.
As you say, mines have risks inherently.
Please, could I insight check Ms. Beckett? I want to know if she actually believes this is fine and, typical competitive security, or if she knows something's dodgy.
Sure.
Thank you. That was 22 for insight.
Yeah, I rolled a 12. I am definitely. There's little in the way of outright lies. The academic thing is probably a lie, basically an outright. Oh, okay. No, I suspect that it's a lie. I don't know. I don't think Ashra would know definitively what the Brotherhood plans to use this stuff for, but she has a pretty good inkling, which makes that fundamentally a lie. What else were you trying to get? I can't remember what your...
That was pretty much it. Are you saying what you believe, or are you definitely covering stuff?
It's a bit of both. There's a smoke screen here, and she's not a fool, and she knows what's up, and is trying to protect the interests of the Brotherhood, but also the part about keeping it secret and operational security, that's just how you do business. That part isn't as much a lie as... She keeps secret because that's how you do anything in the Brotherhood. It's all mirrors and smoke and mirrors within smoke.
Look, I understand protecting an organization, but I've also seen protecting an organization go incredibly wrong.
Mm-hmm.
What I would like is your assurance, Milk, Ashra, that if we find something here that has the potential to end the world we live in, that we will bury it.
Or destroy it.
Get found.
Destroyed.
We can decide that when we get there.
I can't make any promises. I understand your concern.
I think that's enough to work with.
Yeah. I mean, Ashra, you clearly aren't quite as heartless as you like to pretend to be, given that you came down a nice, fun, dangerous, dark tunnel to rescue some of your people. So I'll just remind you of that.
You've also still got an arrow stuck in your back, by the way.
Would you like some help with that?
I definitely pulled that out, but the woman didn't notice. As soon as the fight was over, I'm just like, yep, just more interested in getting it out quickly and invisibly than stopping the bleeding.
Nice bloodstain you've got there.
Your humour is noted. She's not unamused. If you keeping your insight result, yeah, she's not unamused, but is not going to show that.
Excellent.
Overtly.
Cool.
Has anyone got any other conversations they want to have potentially individually?
Not just yet.
Cool. In which case,
That's a big one.
Sorry, Rob, were you going to say something? Oh.
I might just message to Ashra, just privately, as it were, using my brain clever, that I suspect we might potentially run into some conflicts further down the line, and that we are slightly outnumbered down here, darling.
Have that conversation, because Ashra, you have the message cantrip, don't you?
I don't think I do, actually. Can I respond to your... No, I've got Mage Hand.
I'll send Malinoe over to your shoulder, and she'll just kind of snake herself around you, and I can just whisper to you through her, in fact.
Gorgeous.
You can just whisper back
to her. When this starts, I'm going to wander off to check the sentries I posted, the skeletons, who presumably will be standing slightly further out from our
cool, that's fine.
So I'm going to check the sentries.
Cool. You can have that conversation as if you were private.
I just wanted to point out that we are now several hundred feet under the ground, with quite a large potential situation on our hands, and it is just you and me. Any thoughts?
We keep this going as long as possible. If things escalate to that point, we will do well to have a contingency plan.
And should we put one in place? What are our priorities?
How far under the ground are we now, Chris, roughly? Or actually, maybe not exactly.
Of course, you keen mind. A couple hundred feet. The scree that you went down is quite steep, and you're already going into tunnels. You also know that you're not just under the ground a long way. You are unable to get out of here quickly or effectively. Like you are down here with these people now. There's not much you can do about that.
Returning to the surface through magical means quickly should be possible, even as far down as this, but that doesn't get us out of the area. I feel whatever happens, we should consider diplomacy our first recourse at this point. It's not decisive and surprising counterattack.
There is, of course, the potential that we are putting these people at risk, and they do not fully understand the situation. Just so we're...
The miners,
the people that we now have along with us, potentially at risk. There is definitely something down here, Asher. I can sense it.
Just absorb that for a minute. We'll come back to that. Everyone here volunteered, both in our immediate group and the miners.
Indeed, but as I say, they feel a little bit disgruntled that they've not been given the whole picture, which, is acceptable. That is the way things must be. However, as I say, we are now somewhat responsible for at least their well-being, I think, or if ours, if not theirs.
I've shown willingness to give more information than I normally would if I think it would diffuse the situation. I'm willing to do so again if it comes to it.
Okay.
It's not preferential, but at least it, as you say, allays disgruntlement.
Well, I have your back, of course. Anything you need, just give me the nod.
Good to know you'll be watching my back.
And I will cast campfire by the other people where I'm still standing having this conversation, and just sort of warm my hands, and silent image like a rotisserie chicken on the thing. It's not real, you can't eat it, but memories.
When you say you cast campfire, what do you cast?
Oh, isn't that a thing?
No.
Create bonfire.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
In my head, it's a campfire.
Nice.
Flames lick up out of nowhere, and it is a bit more convivial, although the rotisserie chicken, probably to a certain extent, is a little of a tease more than like an enjoyment. You were doing that surreptitiously and subtly. Was anyone particularly watching Milk or Ashro during stepping away? Was Malinoe floating over onto Ashro's shoulder something any of you would have been interested in, wanted to check in on?
I feel, given my background, I have a very keen eye for people having a chat in corners about secrets. So if I'm happy for you to be like, you can't retcon that you noticed, but I wouldn't mind rolling a deception, see if I did.
It's not a retcon. It is to see if there's a contested roll. So roll me a perception check, and both Ash and Milk, can you roll me either deception or performance, or you can also argue for other things if you want to, for this to be a conversation.
I'll roll deception.
Okay.
Oh, that's another terrible roll.
That's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. On what was that, Red? What did you roll?
15. Oh, sorry.
It's all right. What did you roll, Red? What was your? What was the check?
Oh, it was a 12 plus an 8.
No, what was the check? Was it deception?
Oh, deception.
Deception. Okay, so Milk's just doing a sort of quiet, like, I'm not really talking.
No, I'm psychic. I'm not moving my mouse.
Oh, it's going through your familiar. Well, then you're fine anyway. Lovely. Ivy, what did you roll?
15 perception.
Okay. Ashra?
9 on deception. It's not great.
Ashra, moving away, is very clearly whispering to the familiar.
Interesting. Cool. Noted.
Cool. Any other conversations had, or do everyone sort of wrap up?
When Ash comes back to the campfire, Ivy would like to say, right, now you two have finished having your private conversation, it's possibly worth pointing out that whatever our disagreements, we were quite a good team just back there. That was quite, useful to have.
Effective.
Yeah, effective. So despite maybe some personal disagreements, if we remember our first priority are the people stuck here that have been sent down without enough information to possibly certain death, then if we focus on that, working as a team will give them the best chance of survival.
Good call, absolutely. I mean, you do seem, if you don't mind me saying, quite remarkably well trained for a miner.
I don't mind, thank you.
Any sort of additional CV points that we should perhaps be aware of?
No, I was just quite restless as a kid. I got very bored whenever I was meant to be doing stuff, so I just went out. My parents sent me out to go, punch things whenever I had too much energy. I just got quite good over the years.
Gosh, could I roll insight on that, please?
Yeah, roll the deception check that's coming.
I'm backing this up. I'm going to say I've been down here with Ivy. She's very competent.
That doesn't really back up the lie, does it?
At 21.
She's a very competent miner.
That is a 3.
You can have advantage on it. I'll allow advantage on it from Prosperous. It's fine.
Advantage? I don't want advantage. I don't think I deserve it. But well, that's a 4. So that's fine. And that is 4 plus 5, 9 whole points for deception.
Yeah.
I sense there's more to the story.
I think you sense that this story is bullshit. I think that's what you get from that.
Good. I'll intrude no further.
Yeah, I'm not going to mention it, but just like, yes.
Right, shall we go and save some miners?
Absolutely.
Has everyone stopped bleeding?
I need to roll some hit dice.
Ash?
Yeah, pointedly.
Does anyone need the extra thing?
I'm only 1 point off my max with 2 hit dice. Yes.
Nice. I've used half my hit dice, but I'm back at full health.
Great.
I'm going to use Arcane Recovery as well.
Cool. All short rest recharges that you have as well. So channel divinities.
Key points.
Key points for monks. Spell slots for warlocks. Yeah.
I am relatively low on spell slots, but it'll be fine.
Good. Cool. So you're all ready to move out. What's the marching order as you move down this foreboding corridor?
Ivy, since you know these tunnels so well and have demonstrated your competence, why don't you go first?
Sure, I'll need a torch, but yes, absolutely.
I will go with Ivy because I can see in the dark.
Perfect.
Okay.
I'll follow on behind. I'll choose an aesthetic of I would be a skeleton, like Lady Ash with skeletons.
Milk disguises self again at will. Sorry, Victor, off you go.
No, it's okay. I said I'll stay near Prosperous and Ivy, seeing as I think our goals are a bit more aligned.
Cool. The 4 of you move up as a block, just leaving Asher on.
I'm just going to be behind. After that, I want to be behind Milk somewhere.
Cool. What are your skeletons doing? Are they taking up the rear, or are they ahead of you?
Probably, yeah, like a little sort of a very small horseshoe behind me kind of formation.
Small phalanx. Gotcha. Cool.
Asher is the friend who has to stand on the edge of the pavement when people walk.
Oh, lockdown humor. Good. Yes, you are all making your way down this. The tunnel here that is slightly wider. You can also see that it could have been excavated further to the left and right, and there'd still be more of this flooring, but it's about 10, 15 foot wide in places. It's not perfect. There's also wooden joist and supports holding up the ice, making sure this tunnel remains relatively static as much as you can inside a glacier. As you start to move down here, Ivy, Prosperous, you are now beyond where you were when you were either mining or helping out in either case. So you are now into new territory. Ashra and Milk, you've read the reports of what's beyond here, but you're also starting to get to the point where they were digging today. So you're also now, everything now is new to you. Victor, I'm not sure how much you cared in the first place, and now it's all, you didn't even know this was here.
I came to this camp to escape politics and kind of corruptness, and I'm like, well, here we are, back at it again.
Yeah.
And I'm just here for Cyrus.
Yeah. As you step forward down into this continues, and it is relatively flat. There's a slight skew angle on the flooring, but it is relatively flat as you continue forward. As you do, the tunnel ahead of you stops quite abruptly. The ice face is there. It was clearly being worked on. There are some torches still lying around, most of them gutted, although one or two still lick occasionally with a small spark of flame. There are a couple of pickaxes on the floor, a couple of blood splatters, but nothing major. And to the right, as you all step forward into this space, the wall, the entire wall of this, a good 10 to 15 foot chunk of wall, looks like it was pushed outwards. There's chunks of ice all over the floor. It looks like it was literally bashed outwards. And Ivy, Prosperous, you're at the front. As you move forward and start looking down this side passage, it's not supported. It's not in the same way. This black flooring continues, but it looks like it steps down. And in the ice, in the sort of, I'm going to say roof of this tunnel, though roof is a strange word, there is another chunk of black, it's not obsidian, but it's very, very dark stone that has a kind of glassy, reflective quality. But it's not flat. It's got strange curves, strange carvings and markings in it. I'm not sure what it would be to recognize what this is. I think probably I would allow perception or investigation to get a good sense of what this might be. You're all now seeing this as you turn this corner and the light starts dancing off this strange mark through the top. Yeah.
May I roll perception, please?
Of course you can. Totally fine.
Are we free to roll as well?
You are as well free to roll, yes.
15 perception.
19.
19 perception, thank you.
11, but...
Yeah.
18.
18 perception. What was that, George?
23 investigation.
Well, Ashra, you recognize what it is purely by looking and understanding, getting a sense of how these pieces fit together. Victor, you recognize it from more of an overall looking at it. It's the underside of an arm. It's the underside of a gigantic arm. You can see down the tunnel about 50 feet, and you can see about that much of what looks like veins, what looks like sort of markings in skin, and it's beautiful. You can just see the sort of the cushion at the base of the hand, and it's all made perfectly of stone. And looking up through the ice, because ice is not perfectly clear and see-through, but you can see hints of hands and a finger hanging horribly, awkwardly over the tunnel that you are in. And it's gigantic.
This is within the ice.
Some of it is visible, and some of it is still encased in ice and barely visible. But you can just see the beginnings of this monstrously large hand and arm.
How big?
50 foot down into the corridor, you can still see this extending, and then it disappears into the ice. You can just see about that far with 50 foot. Yeah.
Right. Quite big then.
I turn to Ashra and Milk and say, is this what you expected to find?
Is this what we expected to find?
Is it?
You don't know a huge amount. What you know about Netherese culture is largely coupled together. Their art and aesthetic isn't really one of the things that came through on that. It's a surprise to you as well, put it that way.
Does it look like it punched a hole in the wall?
In a sort of creepy, weird way, yes. Except that it is encased in ice. It couldn't possibly have.
So no, it doesn't.
Oh, no, it's completely impossible, but in your mind's eye, if it could reach through and then refreeze, yeah.
Okay. Is it definitely just a statue?
Look at it. Look at it closely. Roll me an investigation check.
Oh, what did I have to do? Investigation? Oh, that's a natural 20.
Ah. As you look at it, looking for like movement, veins, anything to get a sense of, is this alive or not? No. It is completely still.
So glad I used that natural 20. Great.
Yeah.
At least Rebecca, what you have now is it's not going to suddenly reach out and grab you. Or is it?
That's why it's not reassuring, Chris.
Could I roll maybe a medicine check to see if this was something that was perhaps petrified? Or
sure. Yeah.
I don't know if that'd be an arcana or medicine.
Medicine. Please roll me a medicine check, that's fine.
I'm good at that one.
I think
18.
It's not alive. It looks like it doesn't have movable joints. You've encountered golems and things of that variety before. For them to move, they tend to need to have some kind of joint structure. Otherwise, it's impossible for something to... The stone can't animate. Animated stone is a thing that exists in the Faerun D&D universe, so the idea of it isn't crazy, but from a medicine check of an 18, you don't think hand is animate.
I think having assessed that this is a statue and therefore not people, and that we're looking for people, Prosperous is like, statue, move on.
Okay.
Like not to you, but like is also happy for people to remain behind and keep looking at this. But Prosperous is like, this is not people. Carry on.
Ashra takes a little bit longer than Prosperous, but does actually start like having been sort of set back by this a little bit, does then, again, without commenting on it, start paying attention to the room and who's there or not there in terms of bodies and stuff.
There are no bodies on the floor. Where the tunnel was, this sort of black stone, the steps go off the side of it as you look down, and this tunnel does go down further, but the black steps go out of view, and then it's just an icy tunnel. The icy tunnel where your tunnel is hewn and well looked after and well maintained. This looks a lot more like it's been sort of hacked away very loosely. The ice is not packed down. There's no guide ropes. This is not people making this in the way that you were doing it carefully.
Does this look like it was, like clawed away by trolls, or does this look like it was done by our equipment, like minor equipment?
Roll me a investigation check.
Good, I'm so good at that.
Can I help with that? Because I would be looking at exactly the same thing.
About it. That's fine. Yes.
Emma, do you want to just roll twice, or do you want?
Emma's rolled twice.
I wish I'd let you roll because that is a 7.
Cool.
Looking at this, it doesn't look like it was made by implements, but you don't know beyond that.
As I kind of quickly move down the corridor, I run my hand over it and I'm like, nope, I have no idea.
Does it look like it's going to collapse if it's not being shored up properly? Is it safe?
It's not particularly safe, but looking at it, it doesn't look like it's going to collapse imminently.
Cool.
Guess we got it quickly.
Yeah.
To cast mending.
Mending takes a minute to cast and affects a 5-foot area.
Well, then I don't do that.
Do you continue to move down into this tunnel?
Yeah, I mean, there's no other.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask as we go, I don't suppose anyone has any fun abilities that might stop 100 feet of ice collapsing on our heads? Great.
I have grenade to destroy water, but I can't destroy that much of it.
This is water, that's fair. As you start stepping down this far less hewn tunnel, you do see the occasional blood splatter, because it's ice and it's frozen.
Can I investigate it to see if I recognize it as human or humanoid, like one of us?
Sure. Roll me a medicine check.
18.
It's humanoid. It's humanoid blood. As you move down, you do all note that as you move down, there is a sort of crunching and creaking underneath you. This is not safe. This is not secure. As you are stepping through it, it's not like it's going to collapse now, but it is definitely unsafe.
Great.
So this humanoid blood, this thing feels unsafe. Does it feel like it would be safer to run or less safe to run?
Being cautious and careful is always better than running.
Ms. Beckett, do you have any way to communicate with the surface right now?
Not that doesn't involve leaving.
Right, okay. Just thinking if we could get a crew down behind us to start shoring this up while we went ahead, that would be lovely. But if that's not possible.
I'm just thinking I could send one of the skeletons back.
You could.
They've managed it so far, actually. Like they're smart enough to follow that order to retrace their steps. Is that fair?
Yes, they can retrace their steps. That's fine. You can tell one to retrace its steps and go back to the camp. Unfortunately, it can't talk.
True. No,
You could write a note.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah, actually. I'm going to write a note on a piece of paper or parchment or whatever I have in my inventory.
You're a wizard. You must have paper.
Yeah, I have parchment.
Yeah, fine.
I'll write a note to that effect of very terse, just like detailing that we need support, someone to come down and start shoring this up, prioritizing their own safety and pointing out that the guide rope has been damaged.
Cool. Okay.
And I'll send that to Raoul to organize. And in this instance, I will address that to Raoul, put it in the pocket prominently, and just in the skeleton's hand, I guess, or in a pocket.
If you put it in the skeleton's hand, it won't be able to use its hands to climb up the screen.
I'll instruct it to deliver it to Raoul.
Yep.
Or at least to go to Raoul's tent if it doesn't recognize Raoul, but I figure it would.
It can, yeah. It turns and starts walking back down the corridor. No problem.
How big is this tunnel?
It's about 10, 15 foot high circumference sort of thing. It's a bit bigger than the tunnel you were just in.
Okay, thanks.
Just keep going cautiously but quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Following the blood.
Same marching order?
Yeah.
Yes.
Works for me.
Though this time, I think I'd like to change my outfit, if I may. Sure. I'd quite now like to be wearing little hot pants with whatever I would think of as gun holsters and a sort of turquoise swimming costume and a ponytail. I think that's the look of the moment.
Sure. Yeah, no problem. You do.
I love milk.
It's a look.
Just, it feels appropriate for where we're going.
I'm really sad you've stolen my look, Red, but there you go.
All my inspiration, babes.
You step down into this, and same marching order, you are moving your way down into this slightly less well-crafted tunnel. As you move down through this tunnel, you all hear what feels like a sigh. Like a...
Oh, no.
The hand above you is completely still. You just hear that.
I promise, it's not alive. I checked.
As you walk down the tunnel, the light starts to show that this arm is snapped off. It's just the forearm. You can now see as the tunnel moves down, the tunnel isn't straight. It curves, it winds, it wends. It is not idealized in any way. As it curves and winds and wends, you see that there's the end of the arm, and you can see where this snapped glassy ice is, and you can now move sort of down the tunnel and past it, but you move out of this arm's space.
Is there a hole where, quote, the rest of it might have been?
You don't know. As you move down towards the end of the tunnel, you can see where the snapped off arm ends in the ice. You can't see beyond that. You can't see like through the glacier at that kind of range. You get a sense. You can't see.
Okay. I'm going to send Melinoe down. I think
ahead of you.
Yeah. Okay. Unless anyone else wants to go.
Does Melinoe have dark vision of any kind?
I don't know, actually.
I have.
Yeah, I have as well.
Oh yeah, 30 foot. She does.
And I
she does.
Also.
You want to go? I mean, if anyone wants to go, she's just very capable of being squished and.
I mean, when Milk offers to send Melinoe, how keen does he seem to actually?
You're not great. She's really precious to me. I don't want her to die.
Okay. I would like to spend 2 key points to cast Dark Vision on myself and then head down the tunnel.
Okay.
So you're slightly ahead of Prosperous, but you're all moving down through these tunnels.
Ideally, I'd like to be just out of the range of light so I can see something before they can see us.
Okay, so you step ahead. So you step a good then Well, the lights currently. Who's got any light abilities up?
Skeletons have a couple of torches.
Ivy was
They're walking at the
holding
back.
the light.
I had one.
I wouldn't need to take it because I can see in the dark. So.
That means that no one who has dark vision, which is Asher, I think, and just Asher. But Asher's got torches. In which case, the torchlight, you can be slightly ahead. Sorry?
I also have dark vision.
Yeah, the only person who doesn't have dark vision right now is Asher, but Asher's got skeletons around her with torches, so that's all right, don't worry. So Ivy can move slightly ahead of Prosperous, but you're still in the darkness because the torches only have 20 foot of light, so it's not that bright.
But I can see Ivy.
You can see Ivy, yes.
Yeah.
Ivy, in which case you see it first. As the tunnel snakes down in this very awkward fashion, it opens out. There's quite a wide cave ahead of you. Looking out into this, the tunnel is sort of coming out on a slight spur of ice and rock. And as you move forward into this, you realize you're underneath most of the glacier now, because underneath you, there's some not ice. But as you look down, you're slightly confused by what you're seeing because it's not really what you were expecting. There's a portion of what looks like a suburban sprawl that is all made of this black, glassy rock. It's maybe a couple of houses, 2 or 3, at a horrific angle, at least 60 degrees, so quite a steep angle inside the rock, inside the ice. This sort of portion of a city is just sat there ahead of you. The ice around you, you've got this sort of what looks almost like a viewing platform, if you will, that you are on and looking over as you look down into this. This area, this locked bit, takes up most of this icy cave around it. And looking ahead of you, you can see that this bit is just wedged into the ice. The rock beneath it is the rock of what is assumably the ground beneath the glacier. You don't know fully. But your view is entirely taken up by this piece of fallen city. And because it's all this black material, you occasionally see pieces where that golden metal is interlaced into it again, so you can see parts of it are glowing and twinkle slightly as the light from behind bounces off occasionally. But yes, you see this large space ahead of you, and the others are all slowly reaching up to join you.
Are there any visible people?
Yeah, any movement?
You don't note any particular movement. What you note is that because everything's at slightly skew-if angles, you're not quite sure where to look. You're not quite sure where to take notice of where people might walk or stand, because it's such a strange angle on all of this. Like you'd be standing on the sides of buildings almost, rather than walking up roads. And this whole thing is just locked in space in a very strange, weird angle. What's everyone's passive perceptions?
13.
13?
16.
16, thank you.
12.
12?
13.
13? Ashra?
Oh, sorry, 15. That's
15.
Cool. Yeah.
Ashra and Victor, you can both hear inside this chunk of city, you can both hear someone talking, and then what sounds quite resoundingly like a sort of meaty impact, and then silence. It's definitely coming from inside these buildings.
Meaty impact.
You're welcome.
I probably had just an impossible to hide smile on my face at seeing this sort of chunk of buildings, and then hearing that, my face just goes dead serious again. Mm-hmm. We need to move.
What happened?
Where?
The noises, and I'll point out, can I roughly estimate where it is?
Yes, inside these buildings, which are sort of half in, half out of the ice anyway, so it's a mess trying to navigate it, but you can point out generally the direction where you think it came from, which is one of these buildings, half in, half out.
Somewhere in the buildings, someone was talking, and I'm already moving while saying this.
Mm-hmm.
Can we get to it? Like, how do we get to it? Do we have to climb? Can we walk to it?
You would have to climb down from where you are a good 40 feet or so. It's not far to get to a sort of point where you could access it, but then getting through it would be climbing as well. It's not going to be like I just walk in. It's climbing, moving your way through.
Would it be easier to tie a rope here to climb down?
I will give you all this as someone who does rock climbing, you would tie a guide rope and you would hammer a piton early at this point, because that would also give you a point which you could climb down, climb up, climb across if you wanted to. It's your starting point.
I've got pitons and crampons with me.
Yeah, I've definitely got rope.
All we know from Ashra is talking. Ashra, talking we should run away from, or talking we should go and help? What did you hear?
It sounded like correct me if I'm wrong, Chris. It sounded like a normal voice cut off abruptly by some kind of strike or attack or something.
That is fair.
Okay,
Like
we're going then.
Yeah, we're going now.
I will take out my piton, hammer it in, get the guide rope sorted, and say, "See you at the bottom. I'm going," and head down.
Yeah, I go after Ivy.
Monk style.
Nippy. She's nippy.
Well, as you... What was that, Pat? What did Vic say?
I said, very brave miner.
Yeah, nimble.
Miners are very brave people.
Have to be. Well, as you
passing shot.
as you all start making your way in various ways, we'll come back to down into the first chunk of this ancient forgotten city. That's where we're going to pick up after our break. So see you in 5-10 minutes, audience. See what happens next. Bye. Right. So, welcome back. We find ourselves, these characters find themselves staring at a shard, a piece of a crashed Netherese.
Sorry, we're staring at the shard.
Staring at the shard. You're staring at the shards. It's all set in London. Everything's alive.
So tall.
Yeah. You are staring at a piece of this crashed Netherese city that is at a very strange angle and all made of this very dark stone, obsidian-like stone, very black, very glassy, with some metal pieces through it, as described, almost like circuitry in a circuit board. You are all on an icy outcropping looking at this, and Ivy was about to climb down as you heard noises and people trying to silence those noises. So you're pretty sure the miners you're looking for are somewhere within this chunk of city, which is at a really weird angle. So, Ivy, you were going to climb down, is that correct?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm just going to go.
Okay.
I'm going to go after Ivy.
Okay, so Ivy, are you laying a rope as you go so that Prosper has an easier time? Right.
I'll, as I head down, I will essentially abseil down from the rope at the top and then pause, embrace, and whack in a piton every 6 feet.
Yeah, sure, that's fine. Yeah. Can you roll me a check to climb down and do this in this manner? I'm very happy for it to be because you're a monk and acrobatics check.
I have a mobile feat. Does that do anything for this?
It means you can do this very quickly, but it does
Brilliant.
you do still need to support this well and do it well. So acrobatics 100%. To get down safely, or you can use a key point to do it absolutely safely, no issue there. You could also slow fall if you wanted to. It's only about 40 foot down, so it's not crazy far.
I will acrobatics and then save slow fall if I fall.
Sure, no problem.
That is an 18 plus 8 is 26.
In a surprise to no one, you do this very well, and you skip down the side every now and again, hammering in a piton. This is not quiet, everybody. This is very definitely something that is audible, as the kink, kink, kink of the piton being hammered in is very...
That's fine, because I'm about to go down it in plate mail.
Yes. You are not being stealthy about your entrance into this space, just to be clear. Are people looking out? Are they trying to see if there's any movement in this chunk of city? Or, so perception checks then, please.
I mean, I'm mostly watching Ivy, just like keeping hold of the rope at the top, and just like I'm not going to roll a perception check because I'm mostly focused on what's happening down this bit of.
My average roll is so bad today.
20
20 and 21, excellent.
7.
7.
Oh,
that's with a +5.
Victor, Milk. As you're watching this chunk of city, you do see some movement inside one of these houses, and it is the one that Ashra pointed at as that's where she heard this voice. So you do know there are some things within here.
How far away?
From you at this kind of angle, nearly 70, 80 feet. It's only shadows at this point. You can't see particularly well. I mean, your dark vision only extends 60 feet anyway, so you're just getting sort of hints of movement. You can't actually see anything specific.
Sure. I think I will send Millen away this time. But stealthily.
Cool. Roll me a stealth check for Millen away.
Sure. Oh, bugger. She rolls a 7.
As Melanoe floats out over and away from you, she is floating down towards this chunk of city and floating in the direction you asked her to, and is going to keep an eye out and just try and gauge. Nothing's happened to her yet, but she is definitely exploring this area. She is telepathic and can engage with you, so is sending you back information about what she's seeing?
Yeah, when she gets there, I might flip my viewpoint to hers, but at the moment, she's just talking to me and her.
Cool. As she floats down, this chunk of city is at about a 60-degree angle, so the houses sort of push out of it to the side. And as she floats towards one of these sideways houses, the one where you saw some movement, she does see, as she's moving towards it, this house, this area, this piece of city, the edges of it are cracked and broken, so it is definitely broken off. It is definitely a piece. However, what she also sees, which she can't quite fathom, is that inbuilt into the stone is what looks like piping. It is made of the same stony material, but it seems to disappear into the rock in places and into the ice in places. And where it does, you can also see bits where it looks like this piping has been fixed crudely, but it has been made to still, whatever it is, function. There's bits of what look like metal over it in places. Now, Milk, because you know this and because you've already experienced this to a certain extent, where this welding, it's not welding, where these pieces have been placed to allow this piping to still function, there is a faint film and drip of a sort of black, sticky, oozy substance that sort of drips down in places. It looks very similar to the substance that you noted inside the bodies of the trolls that attacked the camp.
Vial of it, I think.
A vial of it, you did.
Okay.
You haven't told anyone about this, have you?
No, I will just call out to everyone who's within earshot to just be extra careful. We're not alone down here. I mean, I feel like we know that, but I'll look sort of uncomfortable, right? Mm-hmm. There's a definite sense of threat.
As Melanoe moves towards the house where you saw movement, and there are breaks in the stone where Melanoe could pass through. There are also what look like, windows. There are things that look like openings that could be passed through. She could easily pass inside something like that if she wanted to.
Yeah, if she could do that stealthily, she would.
She's already rolled the stealth check. Can you roll me a perception check for Melanoe specifically?
Yeah. 15. 15.
As Melanoe reaches one of these windows, does she describe to me what she does? Does she go inside? Does she look inside?
She would sort of land against the wall, sort of out of the side of where the crack is. And
Melanoe looks like an octopus, just in case audiences can't remember. Melanoe is an octopus, a flying octopus.
Yeah, she's all sort of white with lots of eyes, and she sort of then creeps tendrils first, right? Because she's sort of partly sees by feeling, and sort of gets the edges of her tendrils over the edge and begins to see. And if she can sense any air movement or anything, she'll probably pause at that point. If not, she'll carry on and just get the first of an eyeball around the edge and see if she can see any signs of life pointed in her direction.
Sure. Are you looking through her eyes at this point?
Yes, sure.
Sure. Okay. As she gets to the edge of this window and peers inside, she sees and you see there are 3 figures. You recognize them as some of the miners in a corner of this room, but they're sitting on the wall because of the angle here. And they're all sat. They look like they've been beaten. They look relatively like they're being kept prisoners or hostage. And as she floats inside, as she looks inside, as Melanoe is slowly peering around the edge, I rolled a 23.
Is the squishy space squid tougher than a 23? No, she's a 12, babe.
Okay. Does 12 points of damage knock her out entirely?
She has 3 hit points, so...
Okay. You get a vague glimpse of a clawed hand that just reaches across your vision, and then she is gone.
Poor thing. I feel that deeply. I'm wounded.
Do you tell anyone?
Oh, yeah, no, sure. A big thing, claw, Melanoe dead, very sad. I will communicate.
Ivy has now reached the bottom. Prosperous, are you...
Yeah, I'm going to swing myself down.
Okay, make me an athletics check with advantage because of the rope.
Yes. No. That's still a 10.
Okay.
I rolled a 3. I rolled a 2 and a 3.
You make your way down. It's not elegant. It is quick and almost like a sort of controlled fall, but you do land with an audible, very loud, cluttering clang next to Ivy.
And go, I think that went well.
Yeah, absolutely. As soon as Prosperous hits the bottom, Ivy would like to say, given they definitely know we're coming, do you want to wait and make loads of noise and I will sneak around the other side?
How about I run towards the front and make loads of noise?
who's climbing down next?
Let's do it.
I'll go.
Ashra? Great. You start making your way down. As you're making your way down, Prosperous, you're running. Now, to be clear, you can't just run into this building. It is on its side almost and is at a very strange angle. There's climbing and there's making your way inside. It is not going to be an easy ascent back up to this building at all.
Well, I'm going to do it in the kind of the straightforward way whilst making a lot of noise, because I can't not make a lot of noise. And then Ivy can do whatever monk shit.
If only I could simultaneously climb vertical surfaces and just teleport.
But no one knows you can teleport. Well, they do. But,
I know.
Well, Prosperous, as you move forward, making lots of noise, you've got dark vision.
Yeah.
Cool. They're very hard to see anything in this. It's very, very dimly lit. The only light at the moment in this entire space is coming from Ashra above, whose skeletons are holding torches. Everyone else is in darkness. As you move forward, making noise, are you trying to draw focus, draw line of fire, draw attention?
I guess like if they're gonna run towards someone, the idea is that if they run towards me, Ivy can then like come at them from the side.
Cool. As you move forward,
but it's not like I need to make noise, because I will inevitably make noise. I'm wearing a full set of plate armor. Like it's not like I'm like clang, clang, clang. It's just I will by running.
Cool. As you run forward towards the base of this, you're going to have to do some climbing and some sort of awkward wedging to get to a point.
That's fine. I can do that.
Cool. Roll me an athletics check.
I'm not going to roll a 3 again, am I? Here we go for the 1. I rolled a 3 again.
That's still a 10 for you.
It's still a 10.
So you are sort of clonk, like sort of pulling your way up, and you are pulling your way into basically a street on its side. Like the building is sort of collapsed against the ice, and there's this sort of tunnel-like thing underneath formed by the street and the side of the building and the ice. So you are pulling yourself into this space. As you do, a large chunk of ice and stone and rock is going to fly out of the darkness, out of this tunnel, and try and hit you.
To be clear, Chris, I can see in the darkness, so the darkness is not a...
No, you have 60 foot of dark vision. You can see into this, but it's all shades of grey, and the space is bigger than 60 foot.
Yeah.
Ooh. I rolled with disadvantage. That is a 19 and a natural 20. So you don't get hit by the nat 20, but I'm guessing the 19 with a +9 to hit. So that's a 28 hits you.
No, cool. My AC is 29,
you
obviously.
You never know. Exception characters have been weirder. A large chunk of ice and rock is just being hurled out of this tunnel directly towards you. You take 12, 17, 23 points of damage as it impacts you and almost knocks you. Looking down this tunnel, you can't see where this has come from. You just know you're being attacked. George, Ashra was climbing down the side. Can you roll me the athletics check to see if you get to the bottom?
Can I have one of the skeletons just drop one of the torches so it's at the bottom? And the other
yes, you can. That's fine. Yeah. Hang on. Roll me a con saving throw for the torch. See if it goes out in the force.
Oh, for the torch. Is that just a flat D20 roll then?
Yes.
Cool. That's a natural 20.
I'm going to say the torch just lands perfectly on its end and just is now lighting this area.
Why are my skeletons so good at this?
And you're off for the torch, not the skeleton, but yes, the torch is...
Yeah, but just drop it down.
And can you roll me your athletics check for climbing down the rope with advantage because you've got the rope?
Thanks. Well, I mean, my first roll was a natural 20, so... sure, I was a 19.
You effortlessly swing down this rope very quickly and land at the bottom and just see up ahead of you Prosperous, who is slightly at the end of this strange, almost like tunnel being formed by the building and the ice and the street, has just been impacted by this massive chunk of rock. So that's where you are at the start of initiative. Ivy, what were you doing as you moved around as Prosperous ran forward?
So Ivy's aim is to get into the house without being seen.
Cool.
So she will take the shortest route where she's not visible.
Mm-hmm.
I think, because I don't need to use key point. Still new character, who does? Blah, 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 blah. Where is it? Where is my shadow step? There is my shadow step. Yes, it's just a bonus action. So essentially, I will spend my action running 55 feet, my movement running 55 feet, and my bonus action teleporting 60 feet.
You don't need to go that far. It's more height than width. But as you run into the shadows out of the torch hits the ground behind you. You can see the side of this building. Do you want to teleport up to the side of the building, or do you want to try and teleport inside it?
I think I would like to We didn't hear from Milk about entrances or anything, did we?
No.
Let's teleport inside then. It'll be stupid to teleport. No, hang on, because it doesn't take anything. I would like to teleport right outside, see if I can have a look, and then teleport in if I can't find a sensible way of doing it.
Okay, so you teleport outside and look in through the window. You've used your key points to cast dark vision on yourself already, and that lasts for like an hour or something, doesn't it? Last for a long time.
An hour.
It might be 8 hours.
Yeah. I think it's 8 hours.
And it's
done it before the short rest, but who thought of that?
And it's non-concentration, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So you can see in the dark very well at this point. Looking inside, you can see exactly what Netherese saw. You can see these 3 figures huddled in the corner. What you also see looking in with dark vision, I'm going to say, roll me a perception check. This is just a check for stealth.
16 plus perception 3.
19.
Yeah, 19.
You see next to these 3 figures, there is another troll, one of these tall blue figures near them looking at the window. You only see one. As it's looking around across at you, that's where we're going to enter initiative for everyone.
Sorry, as something hit me, I would have activated my scythe.
For light?
Yeah.
It's not a reaction.
But we're not in initiative.
No, that's fair, but it was to see what would happen before initiative. There's a surprise round. I was counting a surprise round. So you can activate it as an action on your turn, but you can't have it activated yet.
Could I have activated it while I was running?
Yeah, so you can activate it while you're running. Fine. You can have it activated as part of while you're running. Okay, lawyered. I'll take it. So that's where. Is everyone aware of where they are as we start initiative? Good.
Somewhere near the house.
You're underneath it, effectively.
I've already climbed up.
You've climbed up into the road, not into the house.
I don't. You'll have to explain the terrain when we get there, but it's fine.
There is a house at this sort of an angle and a road here, and there's an ice wall there. You've climbed up to where the road is, because that would mean climbing. It's a vertical leap. It's a long way up. Yep.
What's the line of sight like from the base of where I am at the bottom of the...
You can see ahead of you, Prosperous has climbed up a small incline into this sort of road-style piece that's part of the floor that's on its side and is inside there. Your line of sight you don't have dark vision of any kind.
The side's now glowing.
The side is glowing, so you can see Prosperous and you can see a little bit of this sort of street and the side of this house and some of the ice wall, but you can't see that far in there from where you are. From the vantage point that Victor and Milk are at, you can see Prosperous. You can't see Ivy. You can see... Ashra, and there are still 2 skeletons with you. And Ivy, you're seeing inside this room on the outside of it, as you can see this troll there. Can everyone please roll me initiative?
10.
10. Anyone else?
Sorry,
what was 6? It was 6. Milk was 6. Thank you. Any
15 for Ivy.
15
also 15
for Ivy,
for me.
15 for Prosperous.
And 13 for me, Ashra.
13 for Ashra. Lovely. Right. Lots of moving pieces here. Good. Ivy, it is your turn first.
Right.
You can see inside, you can see a troll, and you can see next to these 3 hostages, roughly 30 feet away from you. You are on the side of the building, so you are effectively going to be standing on sides of building. The floor itself is at about a 60-degree angle, so it's all very strange angles inside this space.
Okay. So the hostages, are they tied up? And do they look like a bit battered or really, really broken?
They look quite battered. They look like they're not particularly healthy at the moment. They don't look. None of them are unconscious. None of them look like they've been beaten, but they've not been bound or gagged in any way. They're just sat huddled in the corner, clearly cowed.
Okay. And this is the same sort of troll that rocked up in the camp.
It is.
Oh, Rebecca knows it's stupid, but Ivy doesn't. Ivy would like to. I have some darts. I would like to chuck some darts through the window at the trolley boy.
Please do.
Trolley person. I haven't used these yet. That is 13. 13 plus 8 is a 21.
21 hits, yes.
And that is a 7 plus 8. That's only a 15.
That just hits as well. Both darts hit.
I will... Now, let me see. Does Stunning Strike only work with a melee attack?
I believe so, but you've got it right there.
I will. Yeah, I'm just going to double check.
Thank you.
Yep, melee weapon attack. Never mind.
Okay.
That's so 1d4. Oh, that's nice. So 17 points of damage with those.
Hey.
Cool. What do you want to do for your bonus action?
For my bonus action, whilst I wait and see the lie of the land, I'm just going to make an unarmed strike as an extra.
That would mean moving in through the window and running up and punching the troll.
Oh, shoot. Do you know what? I'm going to patient defense.
Ooh.
Cool.
Just in case a very angry troll is about to come charging out of a wall at me.
Okay. You patiently defend on the wall. How does your patient defense work? What is it?
It is a very good boxing stance, so wait in the right place.
You're hanging off a wall.
Oh, that can... I mean, can I just not do that then? Or...
No, you can do it. There's nothing in the rule saying you can't do it while hanging off a wall. Just be aware you're hanging off a wall.
In that case, it will be as good very grounded stance as you can possibly imagine and manage, and where she'd normally have both arms up in a block, only one will be up for the block and one will be hanging onto the wall.
Is it like there's a window, so maybe you're bracing yourself against various parts of that window to hold it in?
That sounds ideal. Yes, please.
Fantastic. You do. Prosperous.
How far would I be able to run before I need to start climbing again?
If you move down this tunnel formed by the street, the building, and the ice, you don't know how far down it goes. It goes beyond the extent of your light from your side and your dark vision.
But didn't we get an idea of what we were seeing?
If you wanted to try and go up the side of the street, it's difficult terrain because it's a strange upward angle, and then the side of the house, you'd have to sort of awkwardly climb in to get inside the house. There is a door onto the street that you can see.
Where did the rock
down the road,
from?
Down the tunnel.
I can see at the moment 40 feet, and I definitely can't see a troll.
You cannot.
But if other people come down here, then they might get hit by the same thing. I'm sorry, Chris. I really don't understand the terrain at all.
That's fine. You can either move up. If you imagine that this is the road and there's a sort of ice crevasse and there's the side of the building, there is a door in the side of the building you could effectively climb up to. It is difficult terrain. It would be sort of walking up at quite a steep angle, but you could probably do it.
How much movement would that be?
Your movement is halved on difficult terrain.
Yes, no, but I need in feet. Like, would that be one set of movement, or would I have to move twice? Like, what?
If you used your movement to cross this street effectively to get to the door, I would say that it was difficult if you could get inside the door and sort of therefore be inside the building.
This turn?
This turn, yes.
Okay, I'll do that.
Cool. You maneuver your way up difficult terrain. There's sort of a bit of climbing and sort of scrabbling because of the angle that you're moving up, but you get to the doorway and sort of lever yourself inside and balance. You are effectively a floor sideways, a floor below where Ivy is. This whole room is on its side. Most of what looks like furniture or detritus in here is sort of scattered around the wall where you are on. Most of it is long gone, like pieces broken. Anything in here that was, not stuck down when it crashed thousands upon thousands of years ago clearly got thrown around, and there's a lot of sort of mess and bits of ice and rock and things like that.
Are there any trolls?
Inside this space as you move in, no, there are not. At the far end of this room is a stairway that goes up at a really weird angle, so you have to sort of climb it almost to get up that point.
I use my action dash.
Okay, you dash to the, sort of again moving up slightly to the stairs, and you're now on a stairwell at a very strange angle. Looking up and through the stairs into the room above, you can see another troll at the top of the stairs, which is, again, inside this building.
So am I now in melee with the troll?
No, the troll is a good 10, 15 feet away from you because it's the height of the room, because the stairs go up.
Okay, fine.
But you have moved up inside this and are now helping engage up here. No problems there. Ivy, the troll that you can see runs towards you and is going to try and push you out of the building. That is a contested grapple, so there's no attack roll. Can you roll me an acrobatics or athletics check, please?
Now, because I took dodge, which I thought was an absolute waste because I remembered I have thingy, but that means I get advantage on a dex.
This isn't a save. It's a contested. It's a contested ability check. So you're just rolling.
Great. And sorry, athletics or acrobatics?
Either or. Oh, I've rolled very high.
Well, I have rolled a 25.
Oh, I rolled a 24 on a nat 20. Oh, jeez. This troll runs up and just shoves where you are. If you'll allow, I say for effect, there's a very cool, you take the shove, but you swing out and your hand stays in place and you just swing around and back and it's just there in the air trying to push you out. As it does that, as you're swinging around inside the room, a second troll can't get to the window because the troll's now in it, trying to shove you out of it, is going to... you made a lot of noise, Prosperous, is going to run up towards the stairs that are sort of weirdly above you because side of building, and is going to maneuver using half movement to get to the top of the stairs. The troll you saw ran off, and then another one replaces and is at the top of the stairs leering down at you, and looks like they're about to pounce down the stairs towards you, but can't make it this turn because of movement.
Do I get a reaction because it attacked me, or...?
You get a reaction if you have a reaction you can spend.
I feel like sorry. That's my reaction button. I love D&D Beyond. Okay. No, I can only use my... Yeah, I have an opportunity attack.
Only if it moves out of your range, which it didn't.
Oh, sorry, I knew that. And it hasn't chucked a ranged missile and I haven't fallen. So no, we're all good.
Lovely. Yes, sorry. That is the situation at the moment. Both trolls are now visible to both of the party heavies, so that's good. Right, Ash, you can see Prosperous has made her way up this wall and climbed into this doorway. You can work out that that's the way forward into this building from here. What do you want to do? You did see that chunk of ice and rock hit Prosperous and fly out of this strange sort of
a different angle,
tunnel.
Right? That was from
completely different
tunnel.
Yeah, it came from down the tunnel.
And how far is the tunnel from me?
You'd have to climb up about 30 feet, but it's not a steep climb. It's more of, again, difficult terrain to get up.
So I can use my movement for it. Yeah,
you can use your movement, but you only get halfway.
I'll put myself as far forward as I can.
Mm-hmm.
I will use my bonus action to instruct the two skeletons to, I guess, ready themselves with attacks, bow attacks on any hostile coming out of the tunnel.
Sure, cool.
And for my action, I will hold a chill touch spell under similar conditions. Yeah,
under similar conditions, no problem. You are holding a chill touch, making your way up this craggy ice and broken edge of city. But as far as you can tell, it's like a broken sidewalk, but you're on it at a weird angle, making your way into this space along with everyone else.
Cool. So the skeletons, so one of them will drop the torches holding. They'll both get their bows out and be ready with those.
Roll a con check for the torch the skeleton dropped, just because we did it once, and I want to see what happens this time.
No, see what happens. Let's see if I can only roll natural 20s for torches. That's an 18. That's pretty good.
The torch also lands and keeps flaming. So, Milk, Victor, you do have good light around you if that's important to you. Good. Right, Victor, you are on top of this viewing platform. 40 feet below you is where the rope goes to, and then at an angle roughly 50 feet below you, Ashra is now climbing up and visible to you, and you've seen Prosperous and Ivy go inside this on its side angled house, but you can't see either of them. What would you like to do?
I like to dash down to start making my way down to where...
If you want to climb down the rope, that would be your action to do so. It's an athletics check with advantage.
Yeah, I'd like to do that, please.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll make that check with advantage. Okay. Well, no, okay, that's 14.
14. You managed to make your way down the rope without falling or any kind of issue. You do get to the bottom. Do you want to use a movement to basically catch up with Ashra? You can do that. I'm not counting the climber's movement. That'd be cruel.
Yes, I'd like to do that.
Cool. You catch up and are standing next to Ashra as you move up using difficult terrain again to get up to the point where Ashra is.
Lovely. How far away am I now from the house?
The house, you at an angle up, it is 15. It's about 30 feet away. The door is about 30 feet away.
30 feet. Okay, I'd like to, as a bonus action, cast Spiritual Weapon, placed around the door.
Cool. What is your spiritual weapon? What do you summon?
I'm so glad you asked, and I had the name of it earlier. Yes, I use a shashka, which is a large two-handed Russian sword.
Cool.
Yeah, that's poised at the entrance of the house.
I see. They can't hold actions, but it's just poised there for you if you've bonus action cast it. Excellent. And that is there by the side of the house. Lovely.
Thank you.
Barreling out of this tunnel, a huge humanoid. Ashra, you immediately recognize a frost giant. Most of you probably do. Whitey blue skin, white hair. You've encountered frost giants before, Ashra, I will say, because it makes sense that you would have, or you'd be aware of them. This one, where frost giants tend to be quite, violent, heavy fighters, often get quite involved. This one has a look about them that you find deeply concerning. They're not attacking with an axe. They're attacking with their hands.
Oh.
And their hands look a bit too claw-like for a frost giant.
Oh.
And something about their expression and their features looks worrying. Something about them has a look of monstrous over cultured, civilized giant species. This frost giant barrels out of the tunnel, charging, and charges straight for you, Ashra. The skeletons and and you get your held actions if you want them.
Cool. On my held action, I realized I made a mistake in that I did not bring the torch with me, and therefore I cannot see unless you allow me to have used my object interaction to bring the torch that was at the bottom. I'm perfectly fine either way because it's perfectly legitimate.
Because of the movement that this creature has, I'm going to say that you can cast it before it gets to you, but it's still going to get to you this turn. So.
Oh, no, I'm not worried about stopping it. I'm just worrying about being able to see it in the first place.
I think because you only move 15 feet and the torch has 40.
Fine.
Sure. Some light.
Close.
You'll be able to see.
Yeah, I'm going to use my held action to cast Chill Touch.
And use your skeleton's held actions too, please.
Wait, am I? No, I'm going to not use my reaction to cast Held Touch, but my skeletons are going to use their reaction to fire.
Okay, right, make attack rolls for your skeletons.
Cool, so they get a plus. Natural 1 and natural 2. So never mind.
It's a natural 1, George.
Yes, natural 1, George. Let's go for it. Go for it.
I'm not sure what I want to do here. Okay, can you roll me a d6? Because they're quite a long way away.
Exactly the same as last time. It's a 6.
Well, then it hits you. Yeah, roll with the damage.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. I'm not having a good day.
I am poised and in control, and God.
I shall roll damage for it. It will be d6 plus 5, I think. So that's 10 points of damage.
Another arrow hits you in the back in almost exactly the same point as the last one did. It's also the same skeleton.
They're doing more damage to you this session than to anyone else.
I've taken 8. Oh, the skeletons. Yeah. No, they just by 1 point now. Yeah, they did 17, I think, to the Boomerangs, and now 18 to me.
Cool. You're hit in the back in almost exactly the same point by another arrow that hits you, and there's
this time it will actually show. It's like, ow! I turn around as if to scold someone and see it's the skeleton and just shut the hell up. As you turn back, the frost giant has torn towards you and is going to try and grab you.
Oh,
cool. Yeah, as in grapple or attack or both?
As in grapple.
That's bad.
Okay, I have rolled. It's up to you how you'd like to defend that. Athletics or acrobatics?
Acrobatics.
Mm-hmm.
Acrobatics. It's only the natural 20. That is a 10.
This huge clawed hand reaches out and just grabs you around the waist. And this hand is about the same size as, well, not you, it's huge, not gigantic. And it just picks you up and is going to try and bite you. Just
cool. Chomp
in the face and arm. Ooh, 28.
I mean, I held back my reaction for shield just in case, but I feel that would be a little out of my price range.
Sorry, Ben.
No, I mean, them's the breaks.
God!
Is it bad?
It's bad. It's real bad.
Lay it on me.
I'm sorry.
The maths taking place is not reassuring here.
33.
What sort of damage is it?
It's piercing.
Oh, damn, okay, never mind. I mean, I'm unconscious. That's just straight up how it goes.
I'm next to you right now, right?
Say it again, Victor. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm next to you right now. No, I can't do anything right now, but I am next to you, right?
Okay.
Yep.
I'm in the wrong part of this combat.
is-
Holy crap.
That wouldn't have knocked me out. I'd have 2 hit points left if I hadn't been shot in the back by
Oh boy! Oh boy! Wow! I'm going to say that bites you, and I think bites part of you off. There is
Sure.
no denying this is a sort of like wild beast tearing at food.
I will probably scream. Like I'm not that collected. I'm not that resistant to physical damage that I would not scream before immediately blacking out.
Yeah, that is some horrible, intense shit. Good.
Yeah.
Milk.
Oh, that's a lot of situation. A little bit of geography. So Ashra's sort of directly beneath me, right?
Ashra is roughly 60 feet away from you in the mouth of this artificially formed tunnel by the side of the building, the road, and the ice, and has just had a frost giant run out, grab, and bite her.
Okay. Would I know anything about frost giants? I'm looking for something that they might be afraid of. Maybe fire.
You don't. Okay. Frost giants are normal frost giants that you probably haven't encountered, but you've read about. Frost giants are a cultural, civilized people. They have their own cultural dynamic in the way they function, and this one is exhibiting none of those traits. This is bestial, this is feral, and also, in case the descriptions weren't enough, there are some troll-like tendencies here that you can see.
Okay. Options. I think the best option here is going to be to... Yes, we're going to... If it's within 60 feet, I'm going to try and polymorph the monster.
Wow.
Solid.
That's a move.
That's my best solution.
What is the saving throw?
The saving throw is wisdom. You've got 16 to beat.
Yes.
It's a
Hey,
6.
it's now a pigeon!
It's just look, a very confused pigeon, not quite sure what's going on. Ashra's body just hits the deck. It's bad.
Good.
The pigeon. When do I get to roll again?
Oh,
I don't know that you
not for a
do.
while. I don't think
You
in an
must
hour.
be able to.
Oh, you don't.
No.
No,
You can't.
transformation lasts for the duration until the target drops to 0 hit points or dies. If you stay like that for a whole hour, you are permanently a pigeon. Oh no, that's true polymorph. Sorry, that's
No, I was
the
gonna
next
say,
one. Yeah. No, you're a pigeon until the end of the spell, unless I lose concentration, of course.
Wow.
That gives us an hour to deal with these trolls.
And it
No
has
one
the-
distract me.
And it has the intelligence and. Does it have the personality of the pigeon, or does it still have its
So
own
it keeps its personality.
Okay.
The target assumes the hit points of its new form. Blah blah blah. Blah. Everything except its personality and alignment remain the same.
Better not lose the pigeon.
I mean, I didn't perhaps think through which one I should have been,
I love
but that was
It's
the first one that
perfect.
came to mind.
Okay.
I suppose you can always lose concentration and then it'll just be like a frost giant again.
Right. So as long as that doesn't happen, I'll sit here and not and focus.
That is your action. Would you like to use a bonus action or movement?
No, I think I'll stay where I am. I don't want to risk anything. I don't want to fall down the slope, right?
It would be an action to climb down, so you can't do that anyway.
Oh, right, okay.
Cool. Well, that's the thing. Ivy, there's a troll that tried to shove you out a window. You're not unaware of things going on below, but I'm going to say your focus is probably on this troll right now. It's up to you. I don't want you to feel like you can't do something about what's happening down there if you want to.
Well, I was thinking, I think Ivy's heard the scream and had a look and has had the thought process of, if I was in this situation and things were going that badly, I would kill the hostages. So she is going to tackle the troll that is the most threat to the hostages.
Sure.
So she is going to... she's right outside the window. Do I need to use any movement to get in range with
No,
the troll?
you can attack this troll from where you are, hanging off the side of a building, using all of your different punches and kicks because it's the monkiest cool shit I can think of. That would mean the troll is currently blocking the window. If you don't use any kind of ability to shove or move it, you can't get inside.
Great. Well, as a cool thing, I would like to try and brace off the window, swing back, and then use that momentum as a kick.
Sure, you do. You swing back in and kick the troll across the fruit.
Okay, that is a 26 to hit.
Yeah, you hit the troll.
And I would like to. If I stun them, can I move them? Can I then get past, or is that just a massive chunk of flesh I cannot move past?
If you stun something, it still is in place. You would have to move it.
But I could also just teleport straight inside, right?
Yeah, yes, you can.
There we go. I would like to try for a stunning strike on that first hit.
Okay, con save.
Yeah.
And that one.
It's stunned!
Oh.
DMs take note. Level 8 parties.
Yeah.
In that case...
You know why I'm saying yeah.
Right, that was my action.
Yes.
Is Shadow Step is a bonus action?
Can you roll me the damage on that hit? Because you hit it once.
Sorry, yeah,
Technically, you've got 2 attacks automatically, so roll me a second attack roll with advantage because it is
advantage because it's stunned. That's going to hit, I think, 21.
Yeah, you hit it with both attacks, so roll me the damage on those as well. It's important because trolls heal every
17.
round. 17
damage.
Cool, you are whittling away slowly, but,
Cool. Then, as a bonus action, I will teleport inside the room and be in front of the 3 hostages.
Cool. You can make yourself sort of equidistant between the 2 trolls, or you can move in between that troll and the hostages, which puts you, like, Prosperous, you can see Ivy move into the space at the top of the stairs and is standing in between the troll and these creatures. Hostages, sorry.
Is one of the trolls focused on Prosperous?
Yes.
Great, then I will make sure I am, like, between the other one and the hostages. I trust Prosperous.
The other one is stunned.
Oh, then I won't do that. I will, be equidistant. That sounds great. I forgot.
That's fine. The stunned troll, still stunned, still regains hit points.
Is it not my turn before this?
Oh, it is. Sorry, yes. Prosperous. You are currently at the bottom stairs. You can, again, it's difficult terrain because you're sort of going upstairs at a weird angle, but you are able to sort of move your way up and into this troll space and start attacking it with movement if you want to.
I mean, I heard the scream outside, but there's 3 of them out there, so they should be able to handle themselves well.
You probably also heard the roar and like the of this huge creature barreling out.
But there's also 3 commoners in here. I'm not going to worry about them until it sounds like things are going much worse.
Really? The blood-curdling scream cut off by the bite? Okay.
I don't feel that we're that popular at the moment.
You've got a cleric with you, you're fine.
Can I line up the 2 frost trolls to be within a sunbeam without hitting any hostages?
Ice trolls. You could, if you climb up to the top. Yeah, I'd say you could if you climb up to the top and just like launch out and hit both of them. I'd say you could. Ooh.
Do I want to do that? Do I want to do 2 attacks? Sorry.
That's all right.
Choices. I'm just going to do 2 attacks for now and see how it goes.
You make your way up these very strange stairs, sort of climb up to where that troll snarled at you and just slash twice with the scythe as you move in.
That is a 23
Hits.
And a 26.
Both hit.
Nice.
I get to reroll both of those. That is 10 and 6, 16 points of damage, and another 8 adds 6, which is 14 points of damage.
30 points of damage.
Yeah.
Do you want to add any smites to that?
No, I'm saving them. There was something big outside. These are just trolls.
Okay. 2 massive carving scythe swipes as you get to the top of the stairs and leap off at this strange angle to leap across the stairs effectively to get to this one and just swipe twice as you land next to it and it just snarls, stumbling back a little. The stunned troll by the window and the troll you just hit, the flesh starts to knit where you have hit, and they are both healing back some damage. The one that is stunned can't do anything. The one that is on you is just going to tear into you and try and hurt you because it is upset. So 3 attacks. Let's buy 2 claws. 2 claws first. That is, I mean, you live with me, you can see this. Can you confirm that's 2 nat 20s?
I can't actually see what dice tray.
Oh, no.
Yep. Oh, I've still got 52 hit points.
Well, there are a lot of really bad rolls beforehand, so I guess
I'm having a day, everyone. I'm having a day. Right. So 8, 12, 13, 17 points of damage, and that was good. 4, 8, 11, 13, and 13 points of damage.
Yeah. I've still got 22 hit points.
It also has the third attack with its bite, which is only a 14 to hit. Okay, so the two strikes, they just manage to carve. It's not quite clear how they do it, but they don't carve through your arm. They sort of get hook underneath it and manage to cut into you where they manage to sort of pull the plate up and scratch you. It's quite nasty, quite heavy hits from the troll on you. Ash, make me a death saving throw.
Hey. Let's see what happens. Okay, that's a positive number. It's 11.
11, cool.
Yes, yeah.
You are stabilizing a little.
Hanging out. Big chunk of my arm missing. Just here.
It's up to you how we do this, George, but because the bite would have been very much face, shoulder area, it's quite a serious wound. I think there's scarring on the face as well. Like it's a really nasty, horrible bite that was looking to bisect you. Like it was very unpleasant in the bite. So I think you
probably
also
hit some major blood vessel up here that without attention would probably be very bad.
Victor, it is your turn. You can see Ash on the ground ahead of you with this pigeon floating angrily around her head. But Asher looks bad, but not as bad as she could look, i.e. one past death saving throw. She's not like bleeding out. If anything, the cold and the ice is freezing some of the wounds a little, which is helping.
Yeah, I'm still gonna help out.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
So if I get the rest of the way there, and I'd like to cast Cure Wounds at 3rd level.
Sure. Reach out and touch Asher and Cure Wounds.
Yeah. So that is 7, 10, 12 plus 3, then plus 2. Oh God, where was I?
12 plus 3 plus 2 is 15.
12 plus 3 is 15. 2 is
17.
17, and then plus another 3 because it's a 3rd level spell
20.
is 20.
20.
So 20
Life clerics.
points.
That's almost all
nice.
Not quite almost. That's a significant chunk of my hit points.
Why
Thank
choose
you.
a class that involves so much maths?
As you run up and cast, how do your healing spells look? Do you have a certain sort of style or dynamic to them?
Yes, I think I have a hit blast that does healing stuff, but I do have kind of another one of just regular healing alcohol, and I kind of use again the light from my ring to kind of use that on wounds too, and a faint, nice calming energy.
So the surgical alcohol doesn't burn? It would burn.
No, it's nice. It's
it's nice.
It feels nice.
Asher, it's warm and you wake up very abruptly. It was awful.
I've also realized something else, that the skeletons technically still had the orders to attack hostiles from the tunnel. I don't know whether you want to interpret, Chris, because I haven't had a turn in which I could tell them not to attack. It's up to you whether you interpret pigeon as
so
still
devious.
hostile.
Oh dear.
So yes, your skeletons are supposed to attack anything that you said is hostile, yes?
Hostile coming out of the tunnel. So it depends how much of a hostile the pigeon is being. And if it's
I feel as though with some influence over the appearance of this pigeon, it would have looked very unhostile. It's probably quite chonky and sort of slow. It doesn't look threatening at all. It looks endearing, if anything.
Is it acting threatening if it's got its original personality either?
It hasn't had a chance to act yet.
All right.
That's the thing I'm going to hang on to here. It hasn't had a chance to act yet because it hasn't been the Frost Giant's turn yet. So it is currently, in game terms, static. The skeletons would have seen it shrink down. Also, these are skeletons who are used to working with you, a wizard. Can you cast Polymorph?
No.
Well, we work together.
That's true.
That's true.
Dice. We let dice decide. Always the best way to handle it. I was about to say an intelligence roll, but they're skeletons.
They've got an intelligence of 6.
Okay.
That's something.
Can you make me an intelligence roll with just one roll for your skeletons, and let's see how this goes.
All right.
The skeletons
Based on
huddle
dice
together
roll.
and have
So
a
far.
conference.
Let's have a little conflab.
It hovered tantalizingly on a natural 20 and then just rolled over to a 2, which makes it 0.
Oh, yeah.
Red, what is... okay, I'm fine. Pigeon stats.
Pigeon.
Right.
What would
You
it
didn't
be?
put pigeon in your combat tracker?
I didn't think I did a pigeon! All right? Get off my case.
Never assume.
Well, it stopped Dash from dying, and that was useful
That was useful.
Now-
for one whole
now-
round.
Just to be clear, there are no stats for pigeons in D&D, so I'm going to have to work this out
What?
slightly.
Words?
Don't worry, I think we know what's going to happen. They're going to target the pigeon. And that's all good.
I can shoot you.
We should be clear, if that happens, I'm here for it. It's
I mean, they've not managed to do 20 points of damage to you yet.
That's true.
Oh, it's a really tough one. It's a really tough. They rolled it. We rolled. They rolled really
they rolled
low,
it.
so they're
They
going
got
to attack
it,
the pigeon.
Cool.
Can you make me 2 attack rolls against the pigeon? I have an AC here. It's not stupidly low. It is decent because it's a bird and quite small.
Well, now they roll well. I guess they roll well. Yeah, that's not entirely fair. So we have a 22 and a 13.
They both hit.
Yeah.
How many hit points does the pigeon-ish? Yeah, I mean, this is why I'm the brains of the operation for the skeletons. This is.
Is it at least like not in combat with? No, it was fluttering around your head.
It's flying though, so it'll have to fall out of the sky and maybe
It's
get a little
huge.
bit of
It's
damage.
huge.
Okay.
It'll just cool. Your skeletons fire, and an arrow's just hit the pigeon, and suddenly this.
The damage rolls over though from polymorph, doesn't
that's
it?
true.
The damage rolls over.
Yeah.
Does the damage roll over from
Didn't roll
polymorph?
damage. I'm pretty sure it does.
Does, yeah. If it hits 0.
Then roll me damage because it'll take this
Cool,
damage.
That's good. So 2 of these. 11 plus 10, so 22, 21.
21 points of damage. Right. I mean, it is now the Frost Giant's turn.
Mentally, Milk is just slow clapping Ashra, just 2 arrows in the back, a ruined spell. I mean, what is
Is
she
Milk
before?
doing it mentally, or I feel like Milk is actually doing this?
Just- Just done.
I feel like it's because you tried to make a competent character. Competent characters, it's just like it's the curse.
Okay.
It's just baiting reality.
Yeah. It reappears, looks down at you, and Victor's there as well because Victor just ran up and cures wounds diseases.
Milk made it a pigeon.
Yeah, but Milk's up a cliff. I mean,
Milk not stupid.
Milk's a caster standing at the back like a good caster. Yeah, I think that it's unavoidable. I think it's going to try and grab you again.
Much as I hate to dance further on my own grave, I'm also prone, so it gets advantage on melee attack rolls against me.
Okay.
I'll see myself
Okay.
out.
It's a grab, so it's not a.
It's going to
no,
try and
that's
grab
fine.
you. It's not going to try. It's
Yeah, yeah.
contested athletics acrobatics. Go for it.
I was 6.
It reaches down and grabs you again, and
Slightly woozy. Looking
yeah,
at it.
and is going to yes, is going to throw you. Would
Sure.
it do that? Would it throw you? No, but it would try and eat you again.
It's gonna
It's
eat
dumb.
me, that's fine.
Dumb. It's going to try and eat you again.
Fine, but
So it's going to try and bite you. You're just grappled, not restrained, so it's just a straight attack roll.
Yep.
It's a 26. No, it's higher. It's a 27.
That's one less than last time. I think things are looking up.
Oh, I'm sorry, George.
Again, these are the breaks, and I felt completely
It's not as good, not as crazy good as last time's attack roll. That's it's more than, was it 20 hit points? It's more than 20.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. You are brought up and bitten again, and it's just found its favorite chew toy again.
Level 8 and 20 hit points.
Wizards.
Stop
Right.
standing in front of skeletons.
Yeah.
Milk, it's your turn.
She can just die. I'm done. I'm concerned that Ashra doesn't have an awful lot, so I will burn another bloody spell. Which one? Okay, I'm gonna try banishment. I think.
Come on, man.
So that's a charisma saving throw for your. Was a ice troll? Was a pigeon? Was an ice troll? 16.
6.
Yeah.
Okay. Please get out of my space for this time a minute, or we can deal with the situation. If you're native to this plane of existence, of course, you're fine. If you're not from here, then you're gone.
It's from here. So, and this time, Ashra, you just grabbed up, bitten again, knocked unconscious. You blearily just realise you're falling and just hit the snow again, unconscious.
And I'm just going to continue my slow clap, I think, at that point.
Yeah.
I'm out of other tricks.
Bonus action?
I've got nothing. I'm okay.
Cool. Good. Ivy, you are standing between the troll and the hostages. Prosperous has just leapt into this room and is swinging away with the scythe. 2 major hits on this troll. The one that you knocked unconscious is stunned. The one that you stunned. That one is no longer stunned because of the way that stunning strike works. It became unstunned at the end of its turn.
I thought it says unstunned at the end of my turn. Yeah.
Okay, it's still stunned then, but it will be unstunned at the end of your turn. Thank you. Mm-hmm. It's still by the window, and the one that Prosperous is on has taken some hits from the scythe. They are healing quite rapidly because trolls do heal quite rapidly. You also note. No, there's no light in here, is there? Your scythe's not lit.
Yeah, it's lit.
Oh, scythe is lit. You note in this light that the troll blood has a sort of purplish quality, which we've seen before. There's also a strange sort of black intermixed with it. It's very strange.
Lovely. Mm-hmm. Okay, so there's no light, so there isn't a torch hanging around that I can handily punch it with?
No, there is not.
No fire damage. Okay, I guess just keep hitting it till someone with fire turns up.
Are you hitting the one that Prosperous is on?
Yes. Yeah, cool. I will leave the stunned one for now because they aren't an immediate threat, and the 2 of us will work together better. So run in and punch it. Mm-hmm. That is a 24.
Yes.
And a 15.
Yes.
Legend. Damage. Do I want to? I'll try and stun that one while it's there. Con 14.
Con 14. Nope, so that's a 3 on the dice, and even with a decent con modifier, it's not enough. That one is as you run in, you and stun it. Yep, great.
Lovely. And that is 18 damage.
Mm-hmm.
And
do you want to re-roll your second attack because the first one's stunned to see if it's in that 20?
Yeah. Nope.
Cool, never mind. That is your 2 attacks. Bonus action?
Yes, I will just do, what's it called? Unarmed strike.
Just a single unarmed strike. Cool.
Yes.
With
that
advantage.
Isn't that 20?
There you go. Did you roll it with advantage? It doesn't matter because you rolled that 20, but yes.
I didn't, but it was the first time. Cracking. So that is then 5, right?
Sorry?
So 15. 15
points of damage. Yeah, this one's like the 2 scythe hits and the punches. These things are looking. The one by the window is still healing over, but this one's looked like it's taken plenty of hits and is looking quite badly hurt. It's sort of swollen face in one place where the punch hit, and it's got rents from where the scythe cut through it. Prosperous.
Would it be an object interaction to grab a torch from my pack and chuck it to a miner? Slide it to a miner? Get it near a miner?
Would you like to drop a torch? The way that this building is arranged with the floors, the way they are, it would roll down to a
Yes, I would like to. I drop it so it rolls and go, light it!
With what?
Can I drop my tinderbox as well?
I'm going to say you can drop a torch and a tinderbox and let them both sort of clatter down towards the miners. That's perfectly fine.
Nice.
Burn the trolls. The first attack is the one in front of me is stunned, right?
Yes.
That is a 31.
Yeah.
Second one is a natural 20, which makes it a 34.
Yeah, they both hit.
So the first one is... I'm not on my actions. 8 plus 4, which is 12.
12 points of damage.
Second one is 11, 14,
You can re-roll 2s.
14, 18, add 4. And I get to add an extra dice.
Brutal critical. No, savage critical.
I prefer it if we didn't call it savage.
Okay.
18,
Extra critical.
23, add 4, 20.
Yeah, it's you cut this troll down. It is downed at your feet.
Burn it.
It is now the troll's turn.
It's stunned.
Yeah, the one on the ground, knocking unconscious would knock it out of stun. They regain 10 hit points at the start of their turn. The one by the window is no longer stunned, regains 10 hit points, and just turns into the room snarling and pounces into the room for a Prosperous or Ivy. Which one's I going to go for?
I'll just roll it.
Yeah, I'll just roll it.
Technically, if it's the one by the window, I'm the one who hit it, so yeah. Fair.
Yeah, the one by the window runs across to Ivy and is going to try and attack you. And looks like it's almost back to full health, by the way.
Disadvantage.
Disadvantage, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm so shadowy and sneaky.
Yes. Terrible rolls. 14.
Misses.
Yeah.
Ooh, much better. 18.
That is my armor class, so that
That
hits.
Okay. So the third one is just a flat attack. That's terrible. It's an 11. Right, so one of those hit.
I'll take that.
That is 10 points of damage as it runs in, trying to claw and slash you, and you are no longer shadowy. The cloak of displacement, the tattoo of displacement.
Till my next turn.
Yep, so you are knocked out of that, but the other troll regains 10 hit points, and even though you cut it to ribbons, is just picking itself up and just takes an arm and just reattaches it as it like pulls itself up off the ground. And Prosperous is going to go for you as well.
Is it not stunned?
No, you stunned, and most status effects end when you get knocked unconscious.
That's right.
No, it's totally fair. Oh, they're all terrible. The highest there is a 15.
No.
And one is a nat 1. So as it gets up and tries desperately to stand up, it doesn't manage to get itself off of being prone. It doesn't manage to stand up and slips in its own blood a little and is still prone on the ground in front of both of you, and all of its attacks miss.
Very cool.
It tries to swipe and bite, but it doesn't get that, but all of its attacks definitely miss. Cool. Ash, roll me a death saving throw.
Doing the thing.
Yep.
It's a fail.
We're having a really fun game here, George.
I actually am. I'm not joking, I am. Sometimes things go just appallingly badly.
It's true, they do.
Rarely do they go this badly. But
as you hit the ground, Victor, you can see as Ash hit the ground with quite an audible bump and a crack. And Ash is looking like the wound in the neck was barely healed, and now there's another bite in the side. Like, this has been a very bad combat for her, and that landing on the shoulder awkwardly feels like it may have taken an already injured bone and just snapped it.
Mm-hmm. Just gave.
Is that Victor's reaction?
Just gave her those hit points. I can't use Cure Wounds to stabilize, can I?
Yes, you can. If you cure wounds, if you cast Cure Wounds, that the hit points just go back up again.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Yeah.
I will do that again at 3rd level.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Okay, now I know that I should add 8 to whatever I roll.
Okay. Yes, you have to add 8 to this roll because it's a 3rd level spell. If you're still using a 3rd level spell slot.
Because all the maths that are involved. Well, that's not a great start. Neither is that. Okay, so that's 19 hit points.
19 hit points.
Okay. And,
thank you.
how, for bonus action, how far away am I currently from the spiritual weapon?
It's still up by the doorway. You could have moved it on your turn. Do you need to see what the spiritual weapon is attacking? Yeah. Do you need to see what the spiritual weapon is attacking?
It doesn't specify.
Okay. What does it say under spiritual weapon under what it can target?
Let me see.
Thank you. Because you could have moved it on your last turn 20 feet as well, so it could be joining the melee up top if you wanted to.
I could have.
I'll say that you did. I'm not going to be a dick about it. Yeah, you could very easily have moved it as a bonus action. You're just trying to help someone who's dying.
No, of course. Against a creature within 5 feet of the weapon. Doesn't specify whether or not I can see that creature.
Intriguing. Then I will allow that for 20 feet of movement and 20 feet again, the sword has now this gigantic, what was it called? A shack? I'm about to say shakshuka, but it's definitely not that.
No, it's a shaksha. A
shaksha. Has now moved into Ivy Prosperous. As you're fighting this gigantic, is it curved? What does this sword look like?
It's a straight edge sword. It's a bit. It's like single-sided, but it's not curved.
Okay.
Not ripped.
So a massive single-sided sword just hoves into view. And do you want to attack one of the trolls with the sword? You can choose which one.
Yes, please. I'd like to also use Divine Strike to add another D8 to that.
Does that count on your spiritual weapon, or is it a melee?
It says a weapon.
It's not a weapon. In D&D rules terminology, a weapon is your physical weapon. It's not. If it said a spell, you could add it to a spell. Very important distinction.
I thought spiritual weapon counted as the caster making a melee spell attack.
Does it?
Yeah, because it is a melee attack.
It's a melee spell attack.
If it specifies melee weapon attack, then it wouldn't work, I guess. But it's a weapon
attack. It only specifies weapon attack. You know what? I'm going to check sage advice, because this seems like the kind of thing that would be too complicated to just work out in one go. That will take a second, but this is the whole point of doing things by the rules.
Dungeons.
So it must come up, because spiritual weapon and divine strike are things that clerics do quite a lot. So
yeah, divine strike, spiritual weapon.
Here we go.
You'd have advantage on the troll that's prone on the floor.
That's true, you would, unless I got 10 hit points. Yeah, divine strike benefits the weapon attacks of a life cleric. Spiritual weapon makes spell attacks. That's from Jeremy Crawford himself. So, nope.
Thank you. Okay, so just a single, because I cast at second level. That is 8 plus 3. That is 11 points of damage.
Oh, no.
Did you make the attack roll against the one on the floor?
No, I didn't, because I got ahead of myself.
That's all good. We'll count the 11 if you like. That's fine.
Hey, okay, that is 24 to hit.
Yeah, the one on the floor, as it slips in its own blood and can't get up, suddenly this gigantic sword just hoves into view and goes straight through it into the ground.
Yay!
Nice.
I still encourage the miners to burn it.
Otherwise, I'll keep getting up again. Good, right, excellent. Thank you, Victor. It is the frost giant's turn. While it's banished, is there anything it can do?
It's incapacitated.
Then it can't do anything. Milk, it is your turn. What would you like to do? Cry mainly.
So I'm also concentrating on the spell. If I come down this slope, I'm going to risk that concentration, aren't I?
If you don't get the athletics check high enough, you will fall and take damage, yes.
Then I'm going to stay where I am and use my action to transform into Ashura and then bore my eyes out. Why is my day so hard? Oh my god!
Oh, you're going to take that.
Oh, that we're all here going, oh, George, you've had a rough day, it's real bad. And Red's there going, yeah, you've had a rough day. How can I make it worse?
Oh, that's delightful.
Yeah, there's nothing useful I have to offer the situation, apart from just keeping this minute that we have of time. So I'm going to let the healers and the people do their thing and just stay up here where it's safe.
Red?
Yeah.
Is Disguise Self a concentration spell?
No.
Good. Right, that's the end of your turn. Great. Ivy, in the room.
How's a miner? Sorry, go for it.
Oh, no, the miner's going. Thank you. The miner's at the end of the round.
Miners.
Have they lit a torch?
I'm going to roll to see if they are confident enough to do this.
It is me speaking, and I have built relationships with these people, and I am a folk hero.
I will roll it with advantage.
I have the background and everything.
Wow.
Is that 2 natural 20s?
For the second time today.
No way.
2 nat 20s. I'm on fire.
Hey.
This one is helping us, so we're cool.
The troll's about to be on fire. Yeah, good. Right. One of the figures gets up, a dwarf who you recognise, called Cyrus, and is Victor's friend, gets up and goes, right, grabs the torch and sparks it, just runs up and burns the body on the ground. It just starts popping and crackling, and that one is now gone. No more healing. It is finished.
Did they burn the other one as well?
You threw one torch, and one of them picked up said torch and moved across and burned one of the bodies. The other one is not burning. No.
Oh,
But you now have a commoner in combat with you.
great. Ivy.
It's totally fine.
Ivy will
Actually,
just
Cyrus
yell.
is not a commoner. My apologies.
Oh.
Find a stat log. Go on.
Ivy will just yell, "Nicely done, Cyrus!" And then, now I don't know how monks and improvised weapons work. If I grabbed the torch and started punching with it, can I still use my punching stats, or do things go bad?
Now. Technically, a club is a monk weapon. And what is a burning torch but a club that's on fire?
It's on fire.
I like the way you think. All right, you know what? I'm going to say it's fine. You can do all your monk attacks with it, and they will. It won't do any extra fire damage, but it will work as if it has been lit on fire. So it won't heal. That is fine. I will allow that. I think that is a very cool usage of everything. So I'm going to take. I think that's fair.
Hooray!
Does it have to be a bonus action for me to get the torch, or can I have it as a free?
Changing or exchanging an item. Object interaction is a free action.
Free action! I love this game. Okay, I will yell, "Nicely done, Cyrus," and then, "Can I have that?" and grab it. Go to my first trolley friend by the window and hit it with fire.
Yeah, make me some attack rolls.
Yes, please. So the usual 2 punches to start with.
Yes,
I'm going to have it in my dominant hand, so just do a cross and then a right hook. That is a 16 plus 8. They both hit. It's 20.
Yeah. AC of 15.
19.
You're going to hit them. Yeah.
And so let's do damage for that first. It's not great. 15.
Cool. 15 points of damage.
Yep. And then I could stun it, or I could hit it. I think I'm just going to go with hitting it really hard again. So
you can stun on any attack.
Yeah, I'm thinking key points. I don't have that many left, and I'm trying to work out whether I want to use them to hit more or to stun it.
I see.
We might need them to stun a frost giant shortly.
Yeah, so I'm going to save it and just unarmed strike.
Okay.
And that is an 18 plus 8.
Yes.
I don't know why I'm bothering to do the maths anymore. So that is only 7 more points of damage.
7. And these punches, there's a sort of flaming spark when you hit because you're hitting with a torch. And it's not on fire, it's not taking fire damage, but it is burned enough that it won't be able to heal on this round. Perfectly fine. Prosperous, you're right there.
Ivy's looking unnervingly happy about all of this.
One of those is a 2, which becomes a 16, and one of those is another natural 20, which becomes another 34.
You have plus 14 to hit.
With the holy weapon,
With my child divinity adds another extra 5.
Only lasts a minute.
I'm going to need to bring that frost giant back real soon. The first one is a...
You only re-roll it once.
You said I could re-roll it until I got a...
Oh, yeah, good point. Sorry, Great Weapon Master, how many times do you re-roll?
9 add 6, which is 15.
Yeah, 15 points of damage.
On the crit. 10, 14, 17, 21, add 6, 28 points of damage.
Yeah, you tear into the troll. It's not dead, but you, between the two of you, with the punches and the flames and the scythe cutting back and forth, this troll looks a lot worse for wear. It is its turn. It is going to try and peg it. It's going to turn around from both of you and run towards the window and try and jump out. You both get attack opportunity if you want them.
Yeah.
A troll will be so much faster than me.
That's another natural 20.
Oh,
wow.
Attack of opportunity. That's super cocked, and that's an 18, so a 26.
I rolled really well on that damage roll. That's a 22, 25, add 6. That's 31 points of damage.
Cool. As it turns, if you're
got 11 as well.
as it turns, you just see it turning and hook your scythe around and just its head gone, goes flying out of the window where it was trying to go and just lands out in the ice and the snow.
With my 11, can I hit it with the fire to make sure it stays dead? Sorry, my 11 damage, not my 11 to hit.
Yes, it's its turn. Good point. And the flames mean it won't regenerate, and the troll is gone. I'm going to say that we stay in initiative because in effectively 7 rounds, I believe, that frost giant's coming back.
Yeah.
So, what do the two of you? You've both had your actions. Speaking is a free action.
I think I would turn to the commoners and say, stay here, stay safe, stay hidden. Thank you for your assistance. Put out the torch, and then run.
You can't move. Just free. Talkie walking's a free action.
My intention is to run out and ask for the frost giant to be brought back, please.
To be brought back?
Yeah, I have to do it before my sword goes out. Side goes out.
Okay. Ash, it's your turn. What do you want to do? Victor's there with you. Everyone is still in the same place. We need to stay in initiative to see what happens with this.
I'm going to stand up. Just dust myself up a tiny bit. Presumably the bleeding has stopped enough from the healing.
Yes, the healing has stopped the bleeding, and there is some quite bad, still wounds that are not bleeding out, but you are definitely a lot worse for wear.
Yeah, it hasn't replaced flesh.
Your clothes are torn. Your hair's as disheveled as your hair can get. It's quite short, but yeah.
I'm going to stand up looking paler than usual, but pale, blood loss pale, and sort of nod to Victor, curtly but genuinely thanks, and back up by my movement towards the base of the drop where the rope was or is.
You can get part way down towards there, but you are making your way down carefully back to, because it's difficult terrain, back to where the rope is. Any actions you want to take in particular?
Hold a toll the dead. Wait, is it taking damage? I don't think it has.
It has taken damage.
Hold a chill touch. Why not?
Okay,
well, actually, no. I might as well hold toll the dead because that's better.
Cool. You hold a toll the dead in case anything tries to attack you, or in case anything appears, anything violent appears, I'm guessing. Do you give your skeletons any orders in particular?
I think now they're actually got the correct orders. They will be advantageous, so I assume they'll keep firing at the giant when it comes back.
No problem. Victor?
Have I... So the dead troll is still in front of me?
No, the trolls were in the building and they're both dead. Yeah. You're out in this thing and the frost giant is just gone. It got banished.
Frost giant, pardon me. Okay, I'm going to keep heading towards the building then. Is that still 40 feet away?
No, you climb up. If you use your movement, it's difficult terrain. You can climb up to the doorway, and climbing up to the doorway, you can see inside this house at a strange angle and get a better sense of all of this. But you can't see your weapon, and you can't see Ivy or Prosperous at this point.
All right, I'd like to climb up towards there. So I haven't heard or seen Cyrus.
No. As you climb up to the far end and look up through the stairwell, you can see Cyrus there with Ivy and with Prosperous. You can talk as free action.
You stupid, reckless... I've lost my accent. Bloody hell. Oh, it's gone. But I'm not going to speak then. I think I'm just glad to see him.
Yeah, he's there, and Prosperous has turned around and is clearly about to be moving down in your direction. Although technically Prosperous doesn't know anything about this frost giant.
I heard a lot of...
You heard a lot of
screaming.
It's definitely still a problem.
Roaring, screaming.
I mean, Prosperous...
I also look significantly worse for wear. I'm 50 hit points down.
Prosperous, you can see Victor, and Victor was outside. You can ask Victor what's going on.
Victor, why is why was there so much screaming and thudding, and why is there no more screaming?
Ashra died like twice. Ashra's fine now.
Bitten by
Frost troll. Big.
Feral frost giant.
Big frost giant. Big nasty friend.
Right.
Cyrus, how long have you been here?
Well, how long? Has it been? About half a day? Not long.
Where are the rest of you?
They were out. What do you mean?
Chris, I thought you said there was a party of like 15 that we were going to look for.
There were.
Yeah, the rest of your crew, where are they?
I don't know. They just kept us in here and kept us fed and like here. We were just waiting here.
Where are the others? What happened when you left?
Wait, hang on. Can we deal with the frost giant first and ask questions later?
Milk, what would you like to do?
There's other ones in trouble.
Milk, what would you like to do?
I won't waste another action, which unfortunately means that the moment has moved on, I still look like a weeping Asherah. I'm just going to holler loudly, help, in the hope that the people with the big swords and the fists come and deal with the imminent problem.
Where are the rest of your people? What about the frost giants? Help comes from outside. Perfect. Ivy, what do you want to do? You can keep talking.
Yeah, until there is more noise and peril. Ivy's mostly worried by the missing people. Where did you leave them?
We were taken in here and the others weren't taken with us. I don't know.
Taken from where? From where?
From the tunnel. They attacked us. The trolls came out of the wall and grabbed us and dragged us in here.
Can I insight check?
Sure.
Sorry, Po.
Just so you're aware, Chris, because they're friends and they're within 10 feet of me, if they are under any charm effects, they are no longer.
I know.
That's a 24 insight.
24. Seems genuinely confused. Was clearly dragged in here, thrown in here and left.
That's really worrying. But yeah, I guess we don't know where they are. We might as well kill the big scary before going looking.
Milk just yelled for help.
Ivy, do you want to do any movement or any actions on your turn?
Yeah, given that we can't immediately find and save some other people, I will get as close to Milk as I can on my turn.
Cool. You're not affected by difficult terrain, so you run down, move out of here, and are now back down in the tunnel space where you move past Victor. You get into sight of Milk. You can see Milk next to you.
Can I?
My favorite miner.
At the same time?
It is your turn next, but I'll say that you can run together if you want to do this as part of your turn.
Yeah, because otherwise it's just like spacing it out.
I will use an extra movement, bonus action, dash, whatever, to get up to Milk.
Oh.
I'm happy to stay where all of the blood is.
Well, Milk is squishy, and if he's at the front line of fire, then I want to be in front of him.
You can't get all the way there. You can get to the base where the rope is. Milk, you can also talk as a free action if you want to say, like, no, wait there, it's going to be there. Or something
yeah,
well.
My favorite miner, thank God, it's you. Hi. So how do you feel about frost giants? Do you feel like knocking one out for us? I've kind of got one on pause right now.
How long?
Let's do it.
I've got maybe another 40 seconds about time to get... Yeah, how do you feel about 40 seconds?
Can you do it sooner?
Absolutely. Just say the word whenever you're ready.
Victor, can you do any more health, please, before we do this? Yes, you, Victor.
Since you asked so nicely, I suppose. Yes, who could...
Okay, hang on. Turns. You can all move down. It'll take you a bit longer than it took Ivy, but you can all move down into the space where all the blood is and be ready. And Milk can be ready and Victor can be ready. That all makes sense. Victor, are you casting any healing spells if you move back down, or are you going up to Cyrus? Your spiritual weapon is still there.
I can yell at Victor, we found Cyrus, he's okay.
Yeah, Victor couldn't see him.
Yeah,
in case he's worried.
I am that. Okay, I'll go down and do some healing spells, but I can see Cyrus.
Yes, Cyrus is fine. Right. Cyrus is in the building.
You're not going out of my sight again. Get behind me and stay close. And I go down to do some healing.
Okay, Cyrus comes with you.
Good.
Not wearing any armor. Not carrying any weapons.
Of course he's not wearing any armor. Bloody idiot.
Cool. So Victor is rejoining, and movement and action to get there, that's fine. Ashra, what are you doing at this point?
I'm just waiting and effectively dodging until we're about to bring back the frost giant.
Are you going to go up to where Milk is, where there's better vantage point?
Oh, that's a brilliant idea. Yeah.
Please go further away.
Roll me an athletics check with advantage to climb the rope.
Yep. Sigh. Okay, I thought that was 2 1s for a second, but no, it's so there was a 0 and a 6.
It takes you 2 rounds to get up there, but you are eventually clambering up to get up with Milk and your skeletons up on this sort of rise out of the way of combat. In the meantime,
flop onto the top.
Yeah, Ivy, Prosperous, I'm guessing you're just standing and waiting and ready.
Yeah,
I have a question.
Sure.
Because I still have my torch.
Yes.
Ivy will call out to anyone who might know. Is fire helpful? Do I keep this?
I don't think it makes that much difference to frost giants. Not the same with trolls.
Okay. Cool. Great. I'll keep it and see if it does anything, and if not, I'll drop it. Thanks.
Cool.
Victor, could you do any more healing?
It's turns. I'm getting it.
I very much can.
Ivy, hang on. Ivy and Prosperous. So you're sort of standing there ready. Are you holding actions to attack something if it appears?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Great. No problem.
Can I hold? I don't know if it's allowed. Can I hold my shadow step so I can get advantage? Or
bonus action.
Works, it's a bonus.
No.
Cool. I will just hold an attack then.
Cool. Victor, you have arrived with Cyrus to where Prosperous and Ivy are. Are you doing some heals? What are you doing?
I would. Who would like to be healed?
I'm standing far away now. I think it's better just to stand out of the way.
Would anyone like to be healed?
I think it's
Prosperous.
just Prosperous.
Oh, sorry. So sorry, I didn't see. Yes. Okay, I will do again Cure Wounds at 3rd level.
Mm-hmm.
Which I realised I forgot to log the last time I cast it. So that's the wrong die. Okay. Okay, so that is 18 points of health.
That's amazing.
Well, that's 8 points of damage. It's not points of damage.
I do 18 points of damage. Why?
Thank you. That's amazing.
Cool.
I'm back over half.
Cool. Milk, it's been there's about 25 seconds left, and your 2 heavies. Victor's still there. Victor, would you want to stay in melee combat range, or do you want to get out of dodge? You're with Cyrus.
I'm with Cyrus. I've got spiritual weapon, and I can.
That has now floated down and is floating with the other 2. It can't hold actions, but your spiritual weapon can be fighting this thing when it reappears. Yes, no problem.
I'm going to get out of dodge, then I'm going to take Cyrus with me.
Are you going back down to the rope to climb up, or are you just waiting at the bottom of the rope?
I'm going to wait at the bottom of the rope just in case.
Yeah, cool. Cool. In which case, Victor's done that movement. There's about 20 seconds left on Milk's thing. Milk, are you going to, on your turn, drop?
Question. I'm assuming you can just end concentration when you want to, right? Does that cost you an action?
It doesn't cost you an action, but you can do it at, say, the start of your turn, and then we have some held actions. Would you...
So I'd also hold an action then in that case?
You don't need to, because it's going to be your turn. You can literally drop it and then do something. You don't need to hold an action. Okay. However, Ashra, do you want to hold an action?
Yeah, holding a 3rd level chromatic orb. Because that's worked out so well for me in the past.
Victor, are you holding an action?
I can't hold. I will hold. I know it's not useful in the fire sense, but I'll hold a sacred flame.
Cool. That's great. So, with about 15 seconds left to go, Milk, you drop concentration and it reappears. As it reappears, all the held actions go off. So, held attacks first, Ivy and Prosperous.
Do you only get to hold 1 attack, or do you hold your entire action?
You hold. Ooh, interesting.
I think you hold one. I think it works like
I think you hold 1.
I think you hold your entire action, because otherwise holding your action for fights is really bad.
I think it's meant to be not overly good.
Hold action for attack. Just going to check because I want to get this right. You have to find your action.
Action.
After the readied action. No, it is an action. You are holding your action.
2 attacks.
2 attacks.
2 attacks and 2 attacks. You don't get bonus actions, that's the thing.
Natural 20.
Nice.
Mine's
Great.
a non-natural 20 and a 29.
Yeah, both of those hit. Yeah.
So 28 and 23 for me.
Yeah. It's got decent armor, but still, you're regularly wrecking this thing.
I will second level smite on both of them.
Sure.
No, 5, 9, 19 points of damage for me.
19 points of damage.
I'm sorry, it's too many dice.
That's okay.
I'm so sorry, I just do too much damage. It's just so hard.
17, 21, add 6, so that's 27 on the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second one.
On the first.
Second one. I get to reroll both of those. That's 10, 18. Add another 18.
18.
Add another 18.
28.
Oh, 36.
Add 6. 42.
42.
Nice. Do you run out of these at any point, or do you carry on just dealing this much damage every time?
It costs me spell slots. I have 1 spell slot left.
Okay, I feel less inferior. Great.
Can we have the held Sacred Flame, please? Sacred
We
Flame.
can. That's a dex save of. Yep, it's a dex save.
Dex save, sure. No. 3.
Yeah. So that is
2d8 at this point for you.
Yep, and that is 11 points of damage.
Cool. George, can we have the held chromatic orb, please?
Buckle in, folks. Let's see how the dice are going to kick me in the teeth this time.
I mean, it's never hit before. Nothing's going to change.
Right.
Oh, that's actually a good roll. That's a 26 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Very good.
Yeah. It is acid damage, and it will be 5d8, and that doesn't look like a bad damage roll. That's 30 damage.
Well done. Just had to die twice to get in the mood.
Yeah. I feel like this has the same structure as the first session, and that it ends with me being repeatedly just embarrassed as a leader and a wizard until the very end, where I get off 1 chromatic orb with a decent hit.
Okay, the 4 of you in 1 round did over 120 points of damage.
Yeah.
So this, I'm sorry, Mel. As it reappears, you just 2 strikes with the scythe, one of which explodes with radiant energy, just punches down the side. A massive chromatic orb of acid just explodes over the top of it, while a sacred flame just burns from the top, and it just hits the deck and just burns through nothing.
That was it.
It's dead.
Done.
It had 138 hit points. You took it down by about 10, 20 before it got polymorphed and then banished. Then in 1 round, you Prosperous did, what was it, 60 odd points of damage that round?
70.
Nearly 70 points of damage in that round.
Wow.
Go piss off a paladin.
Unbelievable.
Paladins. It was all down to you, Milk. Seriously.
Oh, no, hats off. That was impressive. Bravo with your
Well,
field.
on
I'm going
that,
to talk.
yes, on that rather impressive note of combat prowess, that's where we're going to pick up next time.
Hooray! Can we have a rest?
Cool. Thank you, everyone. Wow, that was a lot. That was a lot. Cool, great.
Wow.
Thank you for joining us, everyone. So that was episode 2 of Icewind Dale. You can expect more of these in this time slot. That's 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. British Summer Time, which obviously, where you are in the world, that may be a different time for you. I know in the US it's first thing in the morning, so thank you for joining us with your morning coffee. Great. Yes, we will be at twitch.tv/D&D and twitch.tv/Adventurers Wanted. Join us either of those. Doesn't matter. We share all those numbers. Anyway, yes, that will be ongoing for the next, what is it now? We've had 2, so there'll be another 10. So join us for the remainder of that over the next couple of months while we tell our lovely story in the Icewind Dale setting, all part of Wizard's new Icewind Dale Rime of the Frost Maiden release. So do pre-order that on D&D Beyond, because they're our sponsor. If you're heading to D&D Beyond, do head to www. What is it? Is dndbeyond.link/Adventurers Wanted? I think it is. Hang on, I will check.
What's
It's
that?
ddbeyond.link/adventurers wanted. Just a link address to show they came from us, which means that we're doing a good job. So that's what would be good to do. So do head across to DD Beyond and pre-order Rime of the Frost Maiden. That's pretty good. Except you can't see it until September. Sorry about that. There are also Ultra Pro sponsor us. That's ultrapro.com. Check out their lovely merchandise as well. And I think it only really remains for me to say we're Adventurers Wanted. Follow us on social media. We're Adventurers Wanted everywhere apart from Twitter, where we're Adventurers 250. So do check us out. Instagram, Facebook, Patreon. If you want to help us do more of this, please do. That would be grand. Lovely. I think that's basically it for now. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, all players. Thank you for watching, and join us next week. Bye.
Bye.